Good evening, good evening, good evening. How you guys doing? Hello, happy weekend. Let me turn my audio down. I think I have music playing, so let me just double check, make sure that music is off. Okay, I think I have no music playing right now. It's on super duper low. Please put a one in chat if you hear me. Put a two in the chat if you can hear music. Good evening, y'all. Thank you guys for pulling up. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Christopher. How are you, Christopher? What's going on with you guys? It's Saturday, and it's another episode of Wine and FaceTime. It's your girl, Chriselle, aka Fit. We are at episode number 37. Tres siete, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Tres seven. Episode 37 of Wine and FaceTime. And this episode is about pretty much the realest I've learned and seen as a YouTube creator. I think all creators do a stream like this at some point in their career. And I think it's great because again, we may become the people that are in the search engine results when new YouTube creators come behind us and see, pros and cons, tips and tricks to what it means to be a YouTube creator. So before I get into anything more, I definitely want to just, again, you guys just saw it in my little intro. I want to shout out all the new subs, all the day ones, all the sub periods. I want to do a special shout out to those people in the UK, Brazil, DR, India. I see you guys in my algorithm. Thank you guys for showing love and popping in and, watching my stuff. I really do appreciate you guys. I didn't know I was going that far with this. Yes, but I'm happy to be here. All is well. God is good all the time. It's Saturday night. The weekend is pretty much over after today. If you don't do anything by today, the weekend is definitely over. At this point, we can definitely say that summer is over. This is about the last weekend before it starts to get cool again. The weather's going to start to change up again. It's about to get more breezy. The leaves are going to start changing really, really soon. We may have like maybe one or two more hot days, but this is officially the end of summer. It's going to be Labor Day. And you guys all know what that means. The kids are going back to school and no more hot girl summer, hot boy summer, no more out here in these streets all late with little pieces of clothes on and doing the most. Yeah, summer is over. The kids are going back to school. It's about to get cold. It's about to be uncommon Central Jose Negron's weather that he loves really, really, really soon. I can't even, lie right now. I'm gonna have to, just talk about this before I move into anything else. Shout out to the 21K short video I have. It has been 72 hours and I have a short video that now has 21,000 views. I am over the roof ecstatic about that. You guys do not understand. It is a whole true story out here. Outside of that, again, the video initially created, I think, 10,000 views on day one. It is now at 21,000 views and it is now 72 hours later. And if you guys do not know what I'm talking about, I'm going to have to be really extra right now and share my screen and just let you guys see what I'm talking about because you guys need to know. So it is this video right here. Yeah, that video got 21,000 views as of today. I am ecstatic about that. I wish to produce content like that of myself in the video, making that kind of algorithm and statistics and ratings, but I'm on my way. I'm doing as much research as possible, trying to get this stuff right. I have a comment from Uncommon Sense Jose Negron. He said, it's 117 days until the first day of winter. Listen, not now, not yet. We're not going there. Not yet. Yes. So chit chat, guys. Chit chat. For chit chat tonight, I want to talk about Teen Mom OG. That's gonna be my little small chit chat conversation. You guys know who watch my show live on the replay that chit chat is pretty much a small segment regarding something that has nothing to do with the main topic. So for chit chat tonight, I want to talk about Teen Mom OG. I was surfing on my channels on my TV earlier, and I saw Teen Mom OG having a new something going on, or whatever the case is, where they're having a new anniversary. Something happened with them. I don't know. But for those of you who do not know what Teen Mom OG is or Teen Mom is a program that comes on America on cable about children, young ladies who have had, who have given birth to children during their teenage years. So young women between the ages of 13 and 19 who have given birth to a child or more. And it's a show that documents their story from being pregnant to having the baby to life after the baby to if they get a job, how they live, how they're supported, blah, 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 blah. This show has skyrocketed. I was a teen mom. I was pregnant with my first child in 1997, gave birth to my child in 98, and I was a teen mom. I was, I believe, 15. I had my daughter at 16. My daughter turned one when I was 17. I was a teen mom. And when I was a teen mom, there was no teen mom television shows. There was no promotion of becoming a teen mom. It was very much frowned upon. It was very much a negative thing, taboo thing, something that people did not want to happen in their family. It was not praised and acknowledged, and it wasn't a great thing, and it wasn't trending, and it wasn't something girls were trying to do to get on the TV show, to get followers and subscribers and be rich and make extra sorts of income. There was no such thing. And I just think it's really kind of weird how Teen Mom has evolved into what it is now that, these young girls are like kind of like B-list celebrities showing their everyday life, like almost like a Desperate Housewife kind of show. And it's like, wow, we're really promoting and educating and pumping up and trending young girls having babies and showing their journey. I know when I was a young teen mom, there was nobody showing up at my door with a video camera asking me if I wanted to check, I'm saying, to show my journey as a young African American woman from the Bronx, New York, who was pregnant as a teenager. Nobody asked my mom, could we document your daughter's story and pay her and could be in your house with cameras? We didn't have that opportunity, but now it's just so glorified. Shout out to the 18 blood. Thank you for pulling up on me. Um, it's just like, it's crazy. And I don't want to sound negative because, again, I was a teen mom. When I was 15, I was pregnant. I had a child at 16. And when I was 17, I had a 1-year-old child. So, again, I'm not knocking women young girls, teenagers who have children, definitely not doing that because, again, I was a teen mom. I'm going to keep it real. A lot of y'all don't see pictures of my oldest daughter, but I do have an older daughter. If y'all saw my short reel before I deleted my social media on YouTube, when I went to Atlanta to visit my mom, I showed a lot of pictures of me and my family and my daughters, So I was a teen mom. That daughter you saw, that was my oldest. I was in high school when I had her. And again, that was even taboo, being pregnant in school, being a liability to the school, being a risk to the school, like all kind of things like that. But I say all this just to say that I just find like it's weird that Teen Mom OG or Teen Mom the TV show is still relevant to this day. It's still being glorified and trending and has all these different seasons and it's still going on because at the same time, I feel like all across the country, we're seeing things like abortion laws and women moving from one state to another to have abortion because they can't have an abortion where they are. And, the conversation about abortion is sensitive, whatever the case is, but at the end of the day, everyone has the right to do what they feel like they need to do. There are certain circumstances where, someone may be, harmed or taken advantage of or be against her will and not be a willing participant. And this may happen to her. And, it can go on for a period of time where she's unaware that, she has life going inside her. Next thing she's 5-6 months. There are those special situations, or when it's in the family, it's incest, someone we know or a neighbor or something like that, and people are just afraid to admit or say, there's something going on and, whatever. You guys get my drift. I don't want to say too much because I have to remind myself to talk a certain way here on YouTube because of the algorithm and, the flags and all those things, sensitivity and censorship, like it's a lot of that going on here on YouTube, whatever the case is. But tell me what you think about this, guys. I mean, how do you feel about this? Do you look at it the way I look at it, despite me being a teen mom and you guys in the chat being men? Do you feel like the show Teen Mom is a negative or positive view on, America, children, how we, live and grow, as far as the society, economy? Like, do you feel like this should be something that should be on TV, publicized the way it is, or should it be something more behind closed doors? We have other countries we know about where there's a limit on how many children a family can have, and that's for a purpose, because you don't want to become overpopulated. And that's something America is. We are overpopulated. So it's just contradictory to me how, we're promoting these shows like Teen Mom, or we're talking about abortion bans in different states and women going from one state to another just having an abortion and knowing that the country is overcrowded and it's overpopulation. Populated, we got the whole migrant situation going on. It's like, what does this really all even mean at the end of the day if this is where we are with things? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does this really all even mean? So, if you got any feedback or commentary on what I'm saying, please feel free to drop a comment in the chat. Let me know what you think. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to just play a quick ad, get something to drink, and I'll be right back with you. So don't go anywhere. Matter of fact, you can go somewhere. Go get a cup of water, juice, snack, chips, whatever you need. I'll be right back.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. I have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. I have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Christopher, where you from? Do I know you from somewhere specifically? Let me know where you from. I haven't seen you around my little streets before. Where I know you from, Christopher? Make some noise. Where you from, Chris? Anyhow, moving on. Yeah, I have the funny thing to say. You know, I'm not ready to talk about the main conversation yet, but one more thing, and then I'll be to the main conversation. So, I've been noticing with me, this is gonna still be chit chat right now because I ain't talking about the main topic yet. I've been noticing with me, not for nothing, that I've been looking like, you know, very wholesome and love in the club and Netflix and chillingish and, you know, all plump a dump 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 and none dump a bump 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 da 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 na 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 na. So I jumped on the scale today, guys, and I was like, ooh, girl. You must be happy in love, dangerous in love, because that number was kind of high. So, guys in the chat, I'm gonna put out three numbers that you know are one is the actual number of my weight, the other two are not the actual number of my weight. I want you guys to guess how much the scale set I weighed today. So the first number I'm gonna put out here is I'm gonna put out all three numbers at the same time. So it's either one of these numbers is what the scale told me today, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So if you participate, you here with me live, you know what I'm saying? Boom. I just threw in three numbers in the chat right now. The scale definitely told me I was one of those three numbers. Which numbers do you guys think I was? You know, so you know, I'm gonna wait for you guys to, you know, put a response in. I see I got three people here. Hopefully I at least got 3 likes on this video at this point. I'm gonna cut on my camera so I can see me too. Hold on. Hey. So what do you guys think was the number? Let me know. So I see one person said 189, one person said 198. There's a third person, Christopher. I'm not sure how I know you. I'm a little skep right now if you don't say nothing. Like, but what do you think the number was? So I'm gonna give it like a minute, and in a minute I'm gonna confess to you all what the number actually was. So keeping it whole funky with you guys. When I jumped on the scale and I saw that number, my whole attitude was like, you know what? You love you, boo, right? You the shit, right? You think you cute, right? You think you blondie dreads, right? You know what I'm saying? You got that Mary J. Blige look. You happy in life right now. You trying your best right now. You ain't gonna let this number phase you, ho. Not ho, but you know what I'm saying? You know how we have those self-talks like, bitch, man up. You got this. I'm like, you know what? I'm unbothered. I don't even care. So I got about 30 seconds left before I confess to you guys what the actual number was. But I was like, "Ooh, girl, you all wholesome looking. You up here looking like Thanksgiving. You ready for it? You gonna be getting them yams and potatoes and macaroni and cheese and grains." Okay, guys. So I don't see anybody else commenting in the chat regarding what the number was. So I'm gonna tell you, my YouTube cousin is correct. It was 189. I was like, "Oh Lord, Jesus Christ." Yams. Shout out to you, Rakim. Exactly. It was 189. I'm like, you know what? I'm not too upset at that number. You know, it's close to 190. It's close to 200, but it ain't there yet. So I tell myself, listen, I'm enjoying life right now. I'm having a great time. I am like trying to put the most best foot forward in all situations. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna live. Cause we only get one life to live, right? As long as the number gets to 200, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. You know, because I can just get to solid 200 worst case scenario and just squat as much as I can every day, push up as much as I can every day and run. And that will shape me right the hell on up because I'm already got the height, got the bone structure. So I'll be good. I'll be good. So yes, the number was 189. The scale said assist was 189. I was like, ooh, you a 60-month shut your mouth. I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad. You know, I mean, I've noticed because there's mad stuff I bought recently that I have tags on them. Like I bought some Army Fatigue Fashion Nova capri jeans, capri pants, like cargo pants. I can get them on, but I can't even button them shits. Like I can't even button them. It's like, ooh, you just got inches back on too. As hard as you work, now you got inches back on. but I'm just so comfortable. I'm just so happy. It's not gonna stress me right now. It's really not. So getting into the main topic, thank you guys for participating in that little commentary regarding my weight and regarding what I was just talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's so fun and loving to laugh at yourself and be happy and silly. You know what I'm saying? And not be ashamed all in your head about, oh my god, I'm losing weight, I'm getting fat, I'm losing weight. Definitely not at that space right now. So moving on, before I get into anything, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Like, I really, really appreciate, if you could just like hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's just out here trying to grow, trying to elevate, trying to evolve, trying to be like in a golden sphere. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be in those areas where I got those numbers with that got commas in between them. You know what I'm saying? So I can get that level up. I can start doing stuff like advertisements and marketing and all the other stuff. So yeah, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. So I'm ready for the main topic. So the main topic for tonight is the realest I've ever seen and heard on YouTube as a YouTube creator. There's so much I've seen in the small amount of time that I feel like I really take myself as a serious creator. And that small period of time, I just feel like, okay, you're learning, one person. The one person I knew when I came to YouTube was Uncommon Sense for Jose Negron, which is Jose Negron. I knew him in real life, in real time. So I took a lot of advice from him. I also knew a woman named Suds and Satin. I knew her in real life, and I met her, and she had a YouTube channel where I felt had a great following. And I knew her. So those were the main people I knew. Before being a YouTube creator, I just came on YouTube to look up recipes, hairstyles, how to do hairstyles or how to cook foods that I didn't know how to cook and stuff like that. But as a creator, as me getting more serious, I started to really realize some things that was really an issue, really a problem, really a concern. And if you're naive and you're not paying attention to your surroundings, it can get really dangerous for you, really sketchy for you, really weird, you know what I'm saying, and all that other stuff for you too. So that's why I wanted to have this stream for tonight. I have a large amount of people that I follow now, and they follow me, but I don't know if they're really like following me, like watching my stuff. But I spend a lot of my time on YouTube, looking at the other people's stuff that I follow. So, for example, again, as I said, when I first started getting on YouTube, Uncommon Sense Jose Room was the first person I knew. So I spent a lot of time binge watching his videos, watching videos one after the other, after the other, after the other. You know what I'm saying? Taking tips, taking trips, joining his panel, talking to him outside of YouTube to try to get to understand, like, how do you do this and a third? And he told me so many things on what to do, to get that. And, as I met with Uncommon Sense Jose and Grown, I started meeting friends of his too, like Introvert for Weekwa, the 18th Letter, Golden Goddess. And the same goes for all those people at some point or another, wherever the case, I've had a conversation with all those people, and everyone gave me tips and tricks on, how to grow or what to do or what not to do, or kind of somewhat like, the interview of YouTube. How, for example, say you get a new job or you're about to rent an Airbnb, when you sign up to buy the Airbnb, there's someone who meets you, walks you through the Airbnb, shows you where everything is, how to get everything, how to contact, what to do, what not to do, so not calling, Jose and his people's Airbnb host, but I'm just trying to paint the visual. Like, a lot of people that, end up, following me, and I followed them through Jose Negron, taught me a lot of lessons about YouTube that I didn't necessarily see right away in my own spaces, but some things I did see in my own spaces, and some things I saw in other people's spaces. And the first thing I want to talk about is the dangers. There are real dangers out here in these YouTube streets. And I laughed at it, I joked at it, I thought it was so silly and animated and stupid at one point when I initially heard about it. Like, how the hell is it gonna be YouTube street danger and we don't get to see each other, we don't know each other at? Like, that don't make no kind of help. That don't make no kind of damn sense at all. Like, how was that going? How was that even possible? So, that was another thing for me. And I started seeing through knowing people again, like, again, shout out to Uncommon Sense for Jose Negron. I'm gonna highlight his name here. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. This is the man I'm talking about that was the first person I know on YouTube as far as showing me what to do, calling me, explaining everything in detail to me the best he could, and inviting me into his space and letting me be friends with his friends, such as, again, the 18th Letter, Golden Goddess, Denise Gonzalez, Introvert for Weekwa, Radical Latino, Hazel Green. There's so many people I met through Uncommon Sense Jose and Grown. So there's always going to be homage and respect and dedication and love and support there all the time. And this just happens to be a time where he's actually on the stream right now and he's actually here and you guys can see him. So again, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I say all this to say that all I knew was the people I met on YouTube. So that big group of people that I met through Jose and, the few people that I met on my own was the people I was learning from besides, typing in YouTube creator help or a small YouTube channel or, entrepreneur this or, all those little hashtags we look up and search when we're trying to build and grow on our own channels. Like I knew that was what I knew. And that for the most part, that's still what I knew. Despite the fact that I have a lot of new followers, I don't know all of my followers, but that initial crew of people I actually know. Like at this point, I have mostly everybody's numbers, or social media contacts, for all these people I'm talking about, including Uncommon Sense for Jose and Grown. So it's different when you actually know the people you're working with and talking with and, joining their panel and they're being on your panel versus you not knowing the people, but there's people that just like your content and they like certain things you produce, but you don't really know them. It's a real big difference. And that's when the danger and the real threats come in, because as I've been through a certain situation recently with work and I have to make some changes for myself, I realized, I could too be putting myself in danger, not realizing what I'm doing just because I'm trying to promote my channel or I'm trying to promote my business or I'm trying to promote, a product or a service or something I'm moving, as an entrepreneur. So real threats are happening. People are actually watching your videos to see the common areas you're popping up, looking for addresses in the background, looking for locations, prominent buildings, prominent structures, things that are recognizable and Google searchable. Like those things are really, really happening. People are really taking it outside of YouTube and calling authorities on people and getting law enforcement involved on situations that has to do with family and livelihood. Like these things are really happening. And I can't speak for everybody in all these situations, but one thing I do know is that that means that a certain amount of people spend a certain amount of time on someone's platform researching and watching and studying, putting information together to, make this an active goal to reach someone, to harm them or hurt them or make them feel some way in some reason, which is really freaking crazy. So there are real dangers out here in YouTube. So again, like definitely me being mindful more of my surroundings, my environment, what I'm doing, how am I doing it, what I'm sharing, what I'm not sharing. That's something that's gonna have to be really, really emphasized a lot more with me. Hence, as Jose always tells me, don't cam up. But good evening, Urban Fasal. How are you? Another danger I noticed out here in these YouTube streets is nudity. I've seen a lot of nudity on these YouTube streets. As a YouTube creator, not knowing how to go to the backstage initially, not knowing how to, vet people, not knowing how to like, not in the live stream and how to distract something that's going on in your chat or on your panel that you don't know and it looks kind of suspicious. Like I've been in those situations already as a YouTube creator. And it's like, wow, like, how does this happen? How does this work? How do these people know me? How are they in my backstage? How are they on my panel? How are they naked? How is this an X-rated panel now? Like, how is people showing up showing genitalia? How is this now looking, X graphic? Like, how does that happen when I don't know these people? Like, how does this happen? Is this phishing? Is this scamming? How is this? What is this? Like these are the real dangers because again, like at the time you don't know what to do. And in my situation, like I figured out how to boot the person out of the stream. But these are real dangers because it's like, hey, he could have, probably got in my stream and, took pictures of my apartment, like who knows what. But it's really, when you don't know much and you're just learning for the first time, you're a brand new YouTube creator, there's a lot to it. It's not just you posting videos and editing videos and writing community tabs and short posts. It's a lot more than that. There's a safety, there's a danger threat, there's a real threat. There's all these different kind of threats. There's spam content, people throwing links up in your panels or in your chats, getting people to click it, and saying it's one thing. And sometimes it's something totally different. It's a virus, it's some kind of device that gets to like clone your whole phone or deactivate your whole phone or put a bug in your whole phone. Like it's so many different situations. So you have to really, really be careful. And again, going back to the threats and stalkers and harm. They're really actually people watching all of your stuff, trying to gather where you are, where you're from, where you live, how to reach you, how to find you, how to see you kind of thing. Like that's a real, real thing. But if you guys have experienced anything like that, please let me know in the chat. If not, thank God you haven't because it's some real ish. Like I said, like tonight I'm talking about the realest things I've ever seen out in these YouTube streets as a YouTube creator, things I've experienced on my platform, other people's platforms, and sometimes it gets a little crazy, like it's really crazy. The next thing I want to talk about is viewers. So I've noticed as a YouTube creator, like one thing I've noticed, always check your YouTube studio, check your emails. YouTube is constantly sending you information regarding your data, your statistics, how you're performing from month to month. And as I started doing that, I started seeing that in my algorithms and data, you sometimes will see as a new YouTube creator, you'll see something called returning viewers and new viewers. And sometimes these returning viewers and these new viewers are not subscribers. They're just that they're viewers. Viewers and subscribers are two different things. So viewers are people that just watching your stuff. It pops up in their stories or their algorithm or their feed often, but they're not necessarily your friends. They may see you because they're friends with someone else or because of what you're posting. It may gravitate to that specific algorithm of what you're talking about, but it's not necessarily people who are subscribed to your channel. So I've noticed as a YouTube content creator, you'll see if you study your YouTube studio that a lot of people who are not subscribed to your channel, we may call them cloud watchers, whatever the case is, they're returning viewers. So while you're getting a lot of views and necessarily maybe not a lot of likes, those people can potentially become subscribers if you figure out how to gravitate them into you more because they're already into you by participating in your views in your algorithm. So there's definitely something they like, but they're just not ready to commit to subscribe. So I think definitely looking at your returning viewers in YouTube Studio and your new viewers and your new subscribers, like that's a really interesting thing to probably get all techie with to try to figure out how to continue to feed to that specific thing they like in those specific videos. So that's something I'm learning as well. And I'm also learning that, you're gonna lose subscribers and gain subscribers often in the several days. Just because you get a big group of 15 to 20 subscribers doesn't mean you can't easily lose them, or just because you're growing slowly one by one doesn't mean you won't have a burst of maybe a group of 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 50 subscribers. It definitely depends on, what YouTube is expecting from you and how they can fit you into what the craft is you're creating, what you're doing. Another thing, going back to safety, is again, the sensitivity with producing content in specific locations like work and home sometimes for the creeps and real threat people that really want to serve you harm and really get to you, like they really try their best to study those videos that are in the common spaces that you spend a lot of time in and try to figure out geotag locations if you put location in your video and trying to come find you and see you and do whatever, like I don't know, that's kind of weird, but it's a real thing happening at this point. I've seen it happen through several people who I'm friends of people, whether just on YouTube or in real life. And it's a real thing that I've acknowledged. So again, safety on YouTube is so important. I don't know how it got this ratchet and crazy and messy, but it is for whatever reason. Next thing up I want to talk about is sharing content. I've noticed again on YouTube, sometimes a lot of people get a lot of success with resharing content and just sharing content and just sharing content. So again, just like the video I just posted of the short that got 21K views now, that's something that someone probably is going to reshare or probably has reshared. I just haven't seen it yet, but again, it's easier to reshare content that's not originally yours to get a lot of views and subscribers because it already fits the algorithm of something that's already popped. And it's already popped, is going to do well wherever you reproduce it at for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So that's a way that people can try to get more subscribers and more viewers by resharing those contents that already have like a whole bunch of millions and hundreds of millions and hundreds of thousands of likes. Like those videos are going to always do well when you reshare those videos. But of course, we all want to produce our own original content all the time to get the full credit of it. And that's how I kind of feel about the video I just posted that did so well. Like, okay, I would love that to be a video of me that has 21K first it being what it is, but still grateful, humble about it because again, it's definitely teaching me how to pay attention to more things in YouTube studio that again is gonna help as a YouTube creator. Moving on, the next thing I've noticed also, not gonna do any name dropping, but I've noticed a lot with YouTube content creators, like there's realistic groups and cliques of people that gravitate to each other's, stages, to talk about similar content, and those contents they talk about can be really fire spicy, maybe it can be about discrimination or race, and I'm really, really mixed feelings on those kind of content, because again, I support and respect and love all the creators that show me love and show me so much to get to where I am. And I support and love anything that they're doing. And I know there's going to be times where I'm going to produce content that's not for them, and they're going to produce content that's not for me. And I feel like regardless if we love the content we're all producing together, it's not about the love we have for the content, it's about the love we have for each other, trying to grow and make it. So whether you like what's going on in the video, you don't care. You're liking, you're sharing, and subscribing, even if you know what the hell they talking about. Like that's what kind of love I'm talking about. But I've noticed, sometimes, like in my opinion, it could be because I don't know so many people yet on YouTube. I haven't been on too many panels yet, and that's something. Oh, shout out to Golden Goddess. Hey, Golden. The Golden Spears is here. Hey, Queen. How are you? That's something actually Gigi has told me as well. Like, you got to spend time on other people's platforms. You got to be on other people's panels. Like, you can't just, be behind the woods and, just looking from behind the scenes. Like, you got to spend time jumping on other people's platforms, to get to know other people. And that's also how you will get followers and subscribers as well, too. So I've noticed that, if you're not doing that, like you told me, like, you're not going to get that traffic. If you're not spending time to see what other people are doing or to join different communities or areas or different talks, whether you know what's going on or you don't know what's going on, whether it's in another fucking link you don't understand, if you don't eventually start spending time to do that, you're gonna grow slowly. Like, you definitely have to spend time on other people's platforms, so other people can know who your name is, know what your viewpoints are, or get a chance to see you, get to like you, whatever the case is. Like, you have to. And if you don't do that, you're gonna be the person that's gonna be always posting videos like of funny, hilarious, serious, dangerous things that already got like hundreds of millions of views, trying to make sure you get the same traffic behind you. In my opinion, like, that's how I see it at this point. I could be wrong because I'm still small. I'm only like 368 subs up in this bitch, but I'm grateful for them 368 subs. They're mine. I like them and they like me. They hit the sub button. Shout out to my new subs. Shout out to my day one subs. Shout out to all my subs. You guys rock. I would not be nowhere without you guys. Thank you guys for all the love. Okay, but real talk. I feel like, you have to be a part of a group kind of to grow. And if you're not a part of a group, again, you're going to be that person that's going to be posting those content that you already know already made great traffic and have to keep reposting those to get the best out of your content. Like, that's what I'm seeing so far. And again, I'm admitting within myself, I do need to spend more time on other people's panels and chats and stuff like that in real time and not just the replay, because it's great to show replay support, but let's be real, in replay support, there's no interaction with the audience. There's nothing much more besides hoping that someone's gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna share your video on my platform." But if you're not getting someone to say, "Okay, I'm gonna share your video on my platform," and you don't got the right hashtags, or your intro was whack, or you had nobody on there, your voice sounded monotone, or you was like, tired, you didn't have a lot of energy, that video is probably not gonna do that great. So again, when you have a group or a clique, like, that's gonna work. But then I notice also with groups and cliques, sometimes with groups and cliques, I feel like there's the same conversations all the time, all the time. And again, I know the shit I produce ain't for everybody all the time. Like right now, this conversation may not be for nobody here right now. People are like, why is she talking about that? We all got the right to talk whatever we want to talk about. So again, I want to be sensitive in how I word it and how I frame it. But again, I feel like certain conversations, I feel like they're more catchy or more fiery or more spicy. And that's why people have them more often. And that's why those conversations like get so much traffic, because they're like not necessarily a negative conversation, but it's like a popular, like trending conversation. Again, I'm going to the race conversation, the discrimination conversation, the police situation, the migrant situation. Like, certain topics get a lot of traffic because there's like just so much negative and it's just like so much publicity behind them. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I want to veer away from them because it's like I feel like there's no control in in these conversations. Like, it's a lot of people getting their feelings out and their emotions out about the topic, but there's not necessarily like like a specific change that can happen in the conversation. Besides everyone saying, okay, we agree to disagree or we don't agree to agree at all, whatever the case is. And I feel like I'm a trauma baby. I grew up with a lot of violence and all the other stuff like that. So I hate to argue, I hate to fight, and I just hate to see people like, get disrespected or talk over or, like drama. Like, I really hate to see that. I've grown up with so much of that in my own personal life that I just wouldn't want to be out of that for good, like for life. But I didn't think I would see any of that shit on YouTube as a creator. Like, I know you probably like, girl, you ain't seen shit yet. Like, I really didn't think I would be seeing things like that. Like, I thought I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna be posting videos, and I thought probably I wouldn't get like people that would like want to help me or show me along the way. Like, I kind of thought like, oh, there's gonna be a slogan, or you're gonna have to buy subs. And I've never bought subs at this point, because I feel like, what if them niggas just leave me? I just lost money, so I don't know if that's a solid proof thing. Like, I don't know if that's gonna help me, So I don't think I need to do subs, buy subs. But what I do think is that I just need to continue to be myself and not try to be a perfect version for YouTube. So, for example, like right now, I'm gonna turn on my camera. I got a little makeup on, I'm home, whatever the case is. Like, I don't think I need to be over the top, but I do feel like I need to do something that says, oh, that's K Fit. Whether it's always the hat, whether it's the kind of intro I do, whether it's something I say, like a slogan or a word phrase, or like you know, I do feel like I need to eventually have that thing I do that's known all the time. And it's like no one is confused about, well, who else does that? Like, oh, that's that, like everyone has they do, whether it's the music they got the ding, or it's a rap intro, or it's the way your video comes up, or how you throw your links in. Like, I think all of that is like a real big part of it as a YouTube content creator. Like, some of us know it, how to do it, some of us don't. Some of us still struggling trying to get there, but at the end of the day, it's like, mm, the game is to be sold, not to be told. So you gotta respect the hustle. You gotta respect the shit, right? So I've noticed that too, and I'm like, wow, like I can definitely see amongst the people I'm with, I can see who are the people that got it down packed, don't need assistance, and people that are really struggling to get it, and people that just they're just not paying attention to what they need to be doing, and they're just making mistakes, and that's why they have certain outcomes. And like at the same time, I also see that some people are not here to make money. I think some people are just here for entertainment purposes only. Like, for some people, I think they're not here to like get 1,000 subs and become monetized. I think some people are actually just really here because this is just something that's entertainment for them. They may not be on social media, they may not have a life, whatever case is. Like, this is just entertainment for them. So the chat is going in right now. I don't know what's going on in there, but I see a lot of comments. Shout out to Urbi Fatal. How are you? Thanks for popping in. You're the best. You always show love on everybody's platform. You're the best. Like, you really, really are. Like, you need an award or certificate. You really are dope. Yeah, like I don't know. It's a lot to take in, but I feel like, I'm just on the beginning of this journey. There's gonna be so much more I'm gonna have to see and figure out, about the whole YouTube thing. I hear a lot of people talk about YouTube about to fall, about to become something else, but I don't know. I just know a lot of us have clout watchers, not real supporters, and not real fans. And I haven't always been asking, like, for donations or support, but I'm gonna start doing so more often though, because I do feel like, that's where your real potential people are that are really willing to like hit the cash app, hit the Zelle, or whatever the case is, or share your shit all the time, or post your shit on their community tab, or hashtag the hell out of your content, or tell people when you're live, like those are your day ones. Like right now, the people in the chat, these are day ones. These are people that's gonna, I feel like, always be here unless I do something to mess up the relationship with us. I feel like they're gonna always be here unless they start when we see me do something shady where it's like, oh, I don't like that she's moving. I don't like that. But again, this is my story. Like, these are like the realest things I've seen on YouTube so far. And I'm just like, wow, there really are clout watchers, people that are not hitting the subscribe button, but they're returning viewers, they're new viewers, or they're just not hitting the like button or the share or subscribe, but they just continue to watch and just continue to just sit there behind the scenes. Like, I don't get that. I really, really don't get that. I feel like, for me and everyone else in the chat, like, we all about being monetized. We all here trying to, get monetized. Some of us are actually really telling our stories. Sometimes I see Irby says something. Thank you. Of course, love, of course, definitely. A lot of us are actually, I think, trying to get monetized. Like, this is not, something to do. This is not like us posting a video on Instagram or TikTok. Like, this is like trying to be potential gains. And we're trying to keep that going, as long as possible. And, make this be the real hustle of anything, or make this be the real job of anything, like, or maybe just keep this as the second job or the second hustle, or the I want to go to work today, I'm gonna just post a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube all week because I know I'm gonna make money. Like, I don't know how y'all thinking, but I feel like, I know I'm hoping to continue to do that eventually, back to back to back to back, produce content that are always hitting those numbers where I know they're gonna actually be reshared and all that other stuff. Like, again, I'm so geeked about this 21K video, but I would have loved it much more if it was me. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? If it was me in that video doing the back crack and the army with the army boots on and pop da 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 da, If that was me, I'm like, shit, your girl, your little chocolate girl right here is this 21K showing that booty. And, like, but at the end of the day, I just feel like, it's like a journey, it's just like how we make mistakes, we like Denzel Washington said, you fall down 7 times, get back up 8, like we gotta make mistakes, we gotta learn, that's how we grow. And sometimes we gotta make these bumps in the road, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to say, like that's the best way I see it. We got to take these chances. We got to take these risks to see what works, what doesn't work. Whether we jump into other people's pages that we really don't like and we being fake and phony just to get subs, or whether we actually popping on people's page, being on their platforms, being in their chat, being fake as fuck. Like, I guess it's whatever it takes for certain people. And I guess for other people, it's just like, I'm gonna just take the easy way out and just ride somebody else's coattail who has a whole bunch of subs. Like, I don't know, but it's some real greasy shit I seen out here, and people told me I was gonna see it. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. And when it happened, I was like in the bushes with a hoodie on with popcorn, like stuck behind the bushes, like, oh my god. But on some lighter notes, I've seen some beautiful things too. Like, I've seen live apologies on YouTube between creators. That was amazing. Like, people being sincerely genuine, apologizing about, coming out of their cool and stuff like that. And that was amazing because I thought, ooh, it's over, it's over. It's really over, over, over. So that was great. Like, that was really some great stuff. Now I'm gonna talk about some like meat and the potatoes things right now. I feel like, I did a lot of soft talk right now. I did like 42 minutes of soft talk, or maybe 22 minutes of soft talk right now. I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes of the things I really, really want to talk about right now. So I've definitely had some embarrassing moments up here. I've definitely had some people, beyond their alcoholic levels up here making a fool of themselves, which embarrassed the hell out of me. I've definitely seen, some arguments didn't go too well. I've seen some feuds, some beefs, I've seen some hurtful comments to me. I've had people call me all kind of dogs and horses, on my comment section. And this was at the point where I wasn't even checking my comment section. Like, I even don't have to check my comment section, but now I'm gonna check my comment section. And boy, I be seeing so many comments. I'm like, you know what? Hmm. If I let this comment get to me, then I just definitely don't have crocodile skin. I definitely don't have the skin to be in this shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it gets real out here. It really, really does get real out here. And I know for everyone here in the chat right now, shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for pulling up gang, 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 gang. Or thank you guys for pulling up. Like, some of you guys know exactly what the hell I'm talking about right now. Some of you guys have been present for some of these things. Some of you guys have not. You probably heard about them. But I constantly hear about stories through all of you guys too separately, because I spoke to some of you guys separately. Y'all don't know who I'm calling, texting, but I speak to all of y'all separately. There's times I call some of y'all in the chat, some of y'all I text in the chat outside of YouTube when we not live. Like, just because I know Jose don't mean I don't know the rest of y'all too. I don't got Irby number. I don't talk to Irby, but everybody else I spoke to in the chat. You know what I'm saying? But it's really weird. I've seen some racist comments, some racist content that really hurt my heart, hurt my feelings, like made me want to tear up and like just yell. And I've just noticed that certain live streams are just not for me. But it does not mean I can't hit the like button and support it, but I cannot sit through it, because the way my body is set up, like, I wasn't here during slavery, but the way my mind and my body is set up, I was here. And it's just certain conversations that I just cannot sit in, and I just cannot digest without feeling some way. And I feel like even if I express myself, I still won't get off what I want to get off. So, but again, it does not mean I can't support them. I definitely can support them, but certain conversations, again, those heavy, fiery, spicy, jalapeno, caliente pepper race conversations, discrimination conversations, I can't get in them. I can't. Like, can we all just get along? Like, that's my motto. Like, I don't like to fight. I don't like to fight. I don't like to argue. Even if it's on YouTube, it's still a fucking fight or argument to me. Like, just because I don't see y'all throwing the blows in my face, or just because I can't see somebody in the headlock or getting stomped out, it's still a fight to me. Like, I don't care like how people view it. Like, it's still a beef. It's still a grudge. It's still negative energy. It's still that distance. It's still that ish. But I've said a lot right now. I'm gonna drop the link to the panel because I'm pretty sure it's like 4 y'all who keep popping in and out. So maybe somebody has something to say about what I'm talking about. But again, happy Saturday. It's the weekend. It's about to be the end of summer. Like, the whole Labor Day is about to be here before you know it, and about to get cold. I mean, maybe some people like Florida people, maybe y'all don't get cold weather. I don't know, but it's about to get cold up here in New York real quick, real quick. Okay, Irby, thank you. I was just trying to like to not make you like singled out like being she ain't asked for my number, she ain't got my phone number, she ain't got my email, she ain't got my social media, like she don't like me, like I didn't want you to feel no kind of way. But that was my issue. This episode wanted FaceTime the realest things I've seen and learned on YouTube as a subscriber, and yeah, like even I had somebody too lit, too drunk, too nice, too toasty on my platform earlier on in season 1 of Wine and FaceTime, and it was mortifying. It was humiliating. It was a lot, but you learn and grow and you make better choices. So I have my first guest coming up on the stage. You guys know him so well. You guys know him from the Boogie Down Bronx, always talking about being a polar bear, how he want to be in Coney Island with a thong on in the beach because he just loves the winter. This is Mr. Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. How you doing?
Good evening, Keisha. Thank you very much for allowing me on your platform. As a YouTube creator, it's a learning process. You make mistakes and then you learn from them. I mean, there have been some crazy moments on my platform as well. There have been times when people have, arguments and beefs, with things of that nature. And one thing that I try to keep it clear is that it's a safe space for everyone to share their point of view. What I do ask is whatever beefs that you do have, just leave it at the front door. I mean, you can go on your own platform and say whatever the fluff you want. But when it comes to coming to my cyber home, I do appreciate, be civil, and if you can't say anything positive about a person, then just don't direct any remarks to that person at all.
Okay, I understand, respect that.
Yeah, because look, no one is born learning how to do this. I've made some mistakes. I have learned some things, that needed to do. Now, what I do is when I do my streams, I put in subscribable, meaning that hey, if you're not a subscriber, you're going to need to subscribe to enter a comment. It's my attempt to try to limit the presence of the trolls. And one thing that you do see, good evening, Don Armando, is that you're going to deal with people who have beat people and have mental health issues. And actually, there's certain creators that should not be on YouTube to begin with because they don't have the mental stability, and they have a lot of issues that needs resolution.
One thing I want to say, since like most of the crew is here in the chat, is that I'm so happy that I've experienced some of the craziest stuff with you guys and not anywhere else where I didn't know anybody, because I probably would not have taken it the same. So I'm happy that anything I've saw for the most part was a part of like the people who I actually know versus me being independently in another group by myself. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've learned so much from all of you guys that I was able to take it more as an okay, there's just family drama, family fight. We'll be back soon. Like I'm happy that whatever I saw for the most part was somewhat around you guys.
Well, look, the fact of the matter is when you have a group of individuals, sometimes you're going to have conflicts, okay? That's not a problem. The issue is, can we get past the conflict and can we have some sort of a resolution? I mean, the fact of the matter is, we're gonna disagree from time to time. The key is let's be agreeable when we disagree, and just keep it going. And you just have to learn how.
Hey, sorry, Jose, wanted to shout him out though.
You just have to learn how to deal with what was the collective, which I call the circus. Good evening,
Hey, shout out to
Raheem.
everybody. Shout out to you, Jose. Shout out to my YouTube wife, Michelle. How y'all doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, we're doing good.
That's good. That's good to hear. I'm going to go ahead and mute up. I wanted to let Jose finish speaking.
Okay.
Okay, so look, at times there have been beefs on my platform, not so much with me, but with other creators that have beefs with other people. And one thing I made perfectly clear, okay, you can have your beefs, but let's be cordial with each other. And then and if we cannot be cordial, then the best thing is just don't say anything. Of course, it's a learning process, and one of the things, and this is something I discussed with you in private, Keisha, that there are times when it's better not to cam up, and there's times when you can cam up. It's one thing when you're home in your own apartment to cam up, but when you are in environments other than your home, you need to be
Hey, good
careful.
evening.
Good evening, Don Armando.
I'll
Hey.
mute up so you can finish talking.
Actually, I'm finished, so I'm just gonna let Pastor Mike, whoever wants to take it.
I think Rob
Okay.
wants to say something too, Don. So before you go, 1 second. Okay, maybe not. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just here chilling, a little bit pissed off because I cracked my phone. But other than that, I'm all right.
Nice profile picture.
Thanks.
I like the whole colorful nation with the shirt. Okay, I see you out there living your best life.
I took that picture when I was in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. So I'm just out here talking about like the realest shit I've seen out here as a YouTube creator. Like, again in the beginning when the chick had like 6 subs and 8 subs, and I would hear all you guys talking when I first met most of you guys talking about crazy things, and I never saw it. And then eventually I started seeing crazy things. I'm like really just having like a whole recap about that. And like I know you got crazy stories to tell. I've been on some of your platforms hearing some of your stories, but yeah, like just never really thinking that YouTube can get this crazy. You can see things like genitalias and real live fights and people getting disrespectful and real sincere apologies on live streams, like all the crazy ratchet stuff we be seeing sometimes. Like I definitely thought I wasn't gonna be seeing it. Period. I don't know why.
I mean, me personally, I just came to the. I've had like my YouTube channel like for ever since 2007, I believe. But the thing is, though, I never really was acting of it. Didn't really take it seriously. So one day I just went up and I just saw something about my town. And I was like, all right, let me just go up on the panel because I never really been on the panel like that before. And I was like, all right, I was just gonna show my homie Fighter Love. Because me and him, our families are from the same town. The next thing I'm being called a creyente and all this stuff, being called a fake Dominican. And that joint just reminds me of high school again. And then on top of it, most of the people who are doing it don't even own a house, and they're a bunch of perennial losers. So it's just to the point that, you know what, the YouTube streets could get crazy. You got certain dudes who are just mad just because you have your own platform and they want to say that they want to send a cease to desist letter. I'm like, really? You want to go and send an order of protection just because I put out content that you don't like? Wow. It's just a new level of bitch assness on YouTube, and that's all I gotta say.
Is that legal? That don't sound legal.
It's like this, right? I have somebody sometimes on my page that nobody gets along with, right? So this guy ended up sending an order of protection on this guy. And then he was bragging on Twitter or whatsoever that he's gonna send an order of protection on me just because I have this guy on my channel. And he says, he's threatening me and everything like that. When the fact is, I don't know who you are for me to even threaten you. And then he was like, he was gonna get my channel shut down and everything. And this is not the first time that he actually has done this. He has done this towards numerous content creators. So with that said, it just It's just that, you see a lot of lunatics right here that they get butthurt, that they just want to get the law involved for no apparent reason.
But how do you protect yourself in these situations as a content creator? Like, what does that mean in real time? Or maybe we can talk about that outside of that because maybe people are cloud watching right now. I don't know. But is it a such thing as protecting yourself from these situations? Like,
I'm,
besides,
I, I mean, I could, but then, I belong to, how should I say, a certain community that don't mess with the law. So that's how I'm just going to handle it. So if that person wants to go that route or anything like that, I think the only if I could make a case, it's just only going to be for defamation. But other than that, I can't really do nothing because I belong to a certain community that we don't believe in calling cops, and that's all I got to say.
okay, I definitely feel you on that. I definitely want to put you on the spot, nothing like that. But I believe y'all now. I've definitely seen enough where I'm like, all right, they was not playing. It sounded funny in the beginning, like, oh, they just joking, but you guys were not playing. You guys were very serious, and it does get real out here. And I just, like I can be naive in certain situations. I'll say that despite being in New York or whatever the case is, but I feel like people have way too much time on their hands to be taking these extreme levels. So be spending this much investigation and not getting paid for it to try to make someone else's life hell. It just sounds like way too much energy.
Yeah, because prior to me even being on YouTube, I was not even how should I say, familiar with the term doxing. But now that I am, and these guys, they want to try to get your personal information so they could ruin your life and everything. And I just found out from a friend recently that, like, if anybody was to dox anybody in New York, that would be illegal, and a person could actually be sent to jail for that.
Wow.
But as for me, I'm not going to take that route. So that's all I got to say.
Well, I see why more people are saying cam up a lot, despite the whole work situation or neighborhood situation. I see why people are saying cam up more, like because people really are unhappy, and I feel like I keep saying this. I feel like it definitely comes from the whole COVID virus. That whole lockdown process before the vaccines, the whole mandate, the curfews. I feel like people are still mentally messed up from that, and I'm not making excuse for anybody specifically, but I feel like people mentally have just been disrupted, change. Like, a lot of people don't believe in mental health. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I really feel like, people are not the same as they used to be. Everyone's short and patient, abusing drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, feeling overworked or underpaid, or they don't like their job, or they're stressed in their personal lives. And there's a lot of miserable, unhappy people out here in the world. Put it like that.
Yeah, if I can just kind in, one thing that I never thought I was going to experience is that people getting upset with me simply because I'm cool with certain creators. Look, I've been removed from the discords of three people. Why? Because I choose to associate myself with certain creators, and this has been my philosophy. If you're going to be upset with me simply because I'm in good terms with some of the people that you have peace with, you know what? You know, there's the door. You can go and fluff yourself. Oh, I care, because no one is going to dictate to me who I'm going to associate with. This is something I never thought was going to happen, but that is a reality. But you live and learn. You learn, and you discern who are those people that you can, that are cool with you, and you learn how to avoid those who have issues.
That's real talk. Even in real life, you got to do that too. Like, I was spending a lot of time talking to my therapist about my feelings, emotions, about certain friends or family members or situations that happen that I'm uneasy about, or I feel like I still have some weight about. And she's always telling me pretty much like, it's always good to express your feelings. It's, how you express your feelings. You always got to come from like a loving place when you're expressing your feelings, because, people need help and everyone sees things differently. So you always got to take a step back and realize that what you see, what affects you, or what you feel sensitive to may everyone else doesn't feel sensitive to that same thing. You have to really pay attention to, like, really learning people around you. But I think everyone does that for the most part, as far as their inner circle of people, family, friends, whatever the case is. But still, even outside of that, it's just like, I don't know. Like, we definitely have to learn from our mistakes for sure. And even when we learn from our mistakes, there's still gonna be hiccups in the road. We're gonna make backslides,
Yeah,
and
I'll take the vegetable panini.
what happened?
No, I was just talking to my wife.
Oh,
Um, the thing is though, it's like if you really look at it, right? I mean, we all know who are my enemies on these YouTube streets. I'm pissed off a whole bunch of people just for saying one thing, for just saying these two words. I'm Dominican. So, with that said, these are the common insults that I was getting. One, that I'm monoracial. Wow, very original. I'm a country boy. That was funny. I'm a fake. That's even more funny. You wanna even know what's funny? They try to call me a beta male. But how am a beta male when the person who's accusing me sleeps with transgenders? I don't understand it. And one thing which is funny is that all these guys they claim that they know their people whatsoever, but they don't know jack crap.
hold on, Don. Hi, Gigi.
Uh,
And Don, also I want to say to you too, like, I hear you talk a lot about race on your platform. I hear Jose, Radical Latino, sometimes Gigi, sometimes introvert. I don't know, there's a part of me that just does not understand like why it's an argument, like even for you example, like I don't understand why people are arguing with you about your culture. Like, what is it to the people? Like, is it your complexion? Is it the way you speak? Is it like
it's like if you really look at it, it's all those combinations because it's my complexion that certain people, even my fellow Dominicans, they don't think I'm Dominican. And
because
then
you're
since
not
I,
dark enough or because you're not light enough? Like, I want to understand more.
all right, you see, in the Dominican Republic, you have certain people who are light skinned, dark skinned, whatsoever, and then they may have retained those features. Me personally, I don't think I have those features because I've said this from the beginning. I'm from a mixed background. My parents were born in the Dominican Republic, and on my mom's side, her parents came from St. Kitts. As soon as I said that, they called me an infiltrator and everything like that. Everything under the sun.
Real
Now,
quick, people always ask me when they see me in public if I'm Dominican. That's the first nationality and culture people guess I am before I even ask. They be like, "You Dominican? You Jamaican?" That's the first thing people think I am, Dominican or Jamaican. And
I
I find
mean,
out your complexion. I'm like, your complexion, I think, when it's not the
yeah,
summertime, I look like you.
yeah. But it was like with me, right? And since I speak the English language like a New Yorker, and I guess I don't have the traditional New York Latino accent or whatsoever. That makes it into a point that like, oh yeah, this guy's faking or something. And out of everybody, it's not everybody in New York that calls me a fake. It's only certain people from one community, Washington Heights, that always try to call me a fake Dominican. But yet all the other people, I tell my story, everybody rocks with me. Even in the Bronx Dominican parade, everybody knew my story. I could have speak Spanish bad or whatever. Everybody rocked with me. If I
You
go to Washington Heights, they want to give me the third degree or something like that.
look
Like what? I have to go bring my whole family that speaks Spanish better than me just to prove my point? I know.
Like, I hate to say it, like, don't judge me, don't hate me, nobody. Like, I was young, I was immature, this is my high school days. But I remember, like, when I was in high school in the Bronx, like, this like between 1993 and like 1996. I remember, like, me and my friends, of course, all us black girls,
used to make fun of, like, like the Dominican guys who used to wear the Durango boots. So whenever we saw a Dominican guy, he would look good from the top. He have like a nice fade. He have a necklace on. He have a nice shirt on, watch, ring, nice jeans, nice belt. He had some fucking boots on at the bottom. We was like, why he ain't got no Jordans? Why he ain't got no Timbs on? Like, why he got no fucking Durango boots? We used to always joke about the Durango boots.
Now you want to? I'll take it a step further as far as high school, whatever. Right? It was like my mom Dukes. When I first started going to school up in New York, she always wanted to make me wear tight pants. You don't know the amount of fights that I got in with that. The times that people try to call me, gay slurs and stuff. I was like, "Oh, word," and we got into a fight right in there. So when I started getting into fights and everything, and my sister had to go tell my mom's, like, "Why are you doing this? You know this is gonna cause them fights." And my mom do, and it was like at that same time, I just went up and I made sure that I wore all my pants baggy. I mean, yeah, I got into fights, but it was not over to the point that somebody was trying to disrespect my manhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Shit, I got into a fight just because they were saying I thought I was all of that. I'm like, I don't even know nobody. I don't think I'm all that. I think I'm nobody. Like, I used to get beat up just because I guess I was pretty, but I didn't know I was pretty and I didn't tap into that. Girls want to fight me because they said they thought I knew I was all of that, or they thought I looked like I could fight. I'm like, I don't look like neither one. What are you talking about?
I'm like me personally. I won fights and I lost fights, but the thing is, though, I ain't afraid. And you know what's funny? Some of these content creators saying that they want to fight or whatever, that they want to fight me. I'm like, okay, so meet me then. None of y'all ain't gonna do it. So therefore, they just want to go resort to tactics. They want to dox and everything like that. Okay, let's put them like
What do you
this.
mean by docs? Can you put that in
Docs is
brackets?
like they want to put your whole personal information on the internet so they
Oh,
could embarrass you and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, so you think that you got some type of power? What if the person that you doxed found out where you lived at, and then one day they knock on your door and you get punched in your face? Then what? It's not like you're going to go around and be putting out people's information. You're not really going to do nothing because 9 times out of 10, from my experience, people who claim that they're doxers and everything like that, they want to hack into people's emails so they could try to find the dirt. Most of these people are cowards. If you was to actually say like, "Yo, you want to do this? Okay, so meet me in the street." This what's going to happen. You could meet them in the streets, and then the cops will go right there. It's like, "Oh, you had terroristic threats and everything like that." I'm like, you know what? It's sometimes not even worth it because half these guys are just friggin' punks, and that's all I'm just saying. Because you want to go dox people and do all this stuff, but yet you can't go and pull and go on one and pull up their hands. I don't see it.
yeah, niggas ain't going no hand in hands right now. Niggas got guns and blades. Nobody fight a fair one no more. That's the old school.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's definitely true. That's definitely true. And this, I think, it was the same for most of us, man. The same thing. I grew up fighting, lost fights, won them.
yep.
I think if you've been in enough fights, you definitely then lost a fighter. So I don't understand what people are. No, I never lost. Like, quit fucking lying, dude.
Like me personally, but I never lost a fight, and then the next thing you know, they get jumped. So I'm
Yeah,
like, you know what?
I done definitely been jumped on more than one occasions,
Oh,
but
tr-
it
oh,
was
tr-
the same
yeah,
thing.
trust me. I got
New York girls is rough. They will jump you quick.
Yeah.
nah. I was like, I got jumped and stabbed after I knocked out a person. So therefore, that's my story.
I got jumped and hit with a bat. I didn't get stabbed, but I definitely got hit with a bat. Yeah.
No, I only have fists and foots. That's all.
Yeah.
But
So like it was like what you were saying. Most people like that's how it is here. Most people when you grow up in certain environments, they try to target you because they think that you're weak and they got insecurities of themselves, Kashel, that they project onto other people. Like the same thing with people. Oh man, Oh man, he got on nice shoes. Look, y'all, he think he all of this. You think
Not,
you think better because you got your pelly leather on. Like people will really take it there with you because they feel like they garbage. They feel
I
like
mean,
they
I mean, it's to the point that it's like I had a situation within my job recently, and I didn't really start. And the thing is, though, I can understand if it was a beef that I started stuff. Okay, yeah, I didn't start the beef. I don't know how women view me as because I'm married, but before I got married, there was an idiot chick that always used to try to stalk me. Now, I never gave her the time of day.
They probably find you more attractive now because you married. I feel like women always find a nigga more attractive when he married. Like, ooh, I want
Yes,
to like this.
that's the whole problem. Now, the last thing is that a guy that used to like the female who tried to stalk me went up and started a whole beef with me just because the chick liked me, and then on top of it, I rejected the chick.
Did
I'm
that
like,
go over to YouTube though, or no?
huh? No,
Did
no,
that?
no. This was before the YouTube days, so therefore it's not like it was like a continuing. It was like almost a continuing beef until that individual got fired because whoop to do, people in my job went up and started connecting two and two together. It's like this guy had a lot of random instances with a lot of my coworkers to the point that they was about to actually put hands on him, with me included. So when they went up and they actually counted up all the incidents that this guy has had, everybody came to the same denominator. He always started it with the person. It was not us that started stuff or looking for problems. And then after that, they fired him.
Wow. Well, good thing they got rid of him. I was just hearing. I think introvert Barweekwa was talking about this. Oh my God, he's gonna live fucking forever. Oh my God. Wow. I'm laughing like that because as soon as I said his name, he popped in on a panel to join in. What's up, Chico? He
What's
was.
up, introvert Boricua?
man. Shout out to my boy Ramon.
Hey,
Yo,
what's
I
going
want to
on,
get this
What
off
panel?
up,
real quick.
Ramon?
What's
He
going
was
on?
telling me on my panel one day how somebody came to his job, somebody's wife came to the job trying to beat somebody up over her man, like on some ratchet ghetto, like
Oh
walking through
yeah,
the
yeah,
spot.
yeah. That happened. That happened a few months back, but we were already having issues with the coworker that I had. I mean, he was somebody who was moving in from California, and he was one of these very boisterous types, and always talking loud and always kind of like trying to bring attention to him. And the thing is that this
He
wasn't a
probably
young
won't do
man.
it with the coworkers though, because I feel like I don't know about you, Don, but I feel like dudes be having their levels of flirtation. So the guy at your job for Ramon, he probably was flirting with some girl, and some girl probably was definitely giving him the attitude back, and then the wife found out and was like, "Oh no, he ain't."
Got
Well,
Oh
you.
yeah,
what,
yeah.
what,
Well, in that case,
what Ramon was
Kaisho, it was
saying.
nice for you to have. It's nice that you had me on your panel. I'm about to leave, but salute
Oh,
to
I'm
everybody.
sorry. Okay, thanks
Oh
for
man,
popping
shout out
in.
to you,
Good
Don.
Dominican to me,
Anytime.
okay?
Yes,
All right.
Eddie. Good
All
night,
right,
Donna.
All
see you,
right.
Don.
What Ramon was saying, if he was talking loud and trying to bring attention to himself, I wouldn't doubt that he was flirting with other women. 'Cause he's
Oh, the thing is that yeah, the, the thing is that this is somebody who, from what I heard him mention, this is somebody who was already older, who already had like grandkids. You will think that somebody who is old enough to be having grandkids will be all more mellowed out, settled down, wouldn't be having into all of this high energy, they kind of like trying to draw attention to themselves. But the thing is that I there were a couple of incidents. One of them was with me because I asked them I asked him something about something that he was doing, and I was mentioning, look, I mean, you don't have to shout out when you need something. You don't need to shout out. You just go to the person and ask them, because in the environment where I work, people keep quiet. And people kind of like interact with each other in more of a professional way. I mean, we're not at the park. We're not at the football game. I mean,
Right.
and this guy
Right.
will be shouting all of a sudden, and or I will try to. There was another instance in which he was kind of like invading my space too much, and I said something about it, and he kind of wanted to. I thought that he wanted to low key scrap or something, and
Yeah.
and we kind of like went back and forth for a
Um,
couple of and shouted. We shouted at each other a little bit, and that had never happened to me before in like what 8 9 years at the job,
yeah. And
and but he
and
was
he
one of those characters, one of
was
those.
he so it's obvious that he was still immature in his mind. He came there, he's
Yeah,
trying to take over the environment by
Welcome
being
back, Jose.
braggadocious. Oh, what's up? What's
yeah,
up, GG? By being
yeah.
braggadocious and oh man, I can do this and I can do that. And
Yeah, he was kind of like trying
so
to test things. I mean, what he could
yeah,
get away with, which is a very feminine thing if you think
right,
about it. Because
right,
all of us guys that have been in relationships, we know that we have come across women that try to test things and try to do things that we wouldn't approve of to see what they can get away with. But he was on that same shit. But this is a man, and
right,
like, what the hell is that all about? And a grown man too. I mean, this wasn't some kid. So I don't know what was his problem. What was the thing with him? And then things culminated in the incident that Kishel was mentioning, because apparently he had gotten a bit too friendly with one of the co-workers, and apparently they exchanged numbers or something, and that became a problem. And the guy's wife showed up at the job and managed to get into the building. You have to use a badge. You have to use an access card to get into the building, but she still managed to get into the building, walked around the building, even going into places that are more restricted and all. And she went into the area that I work at, and she shouted to all of us, "I'm looking for so and so, and I'm gonna fuck her up."
what
And I
the
was
hell?
like, okay,
She's out of
okay,
a
okay,
black
okay.
girl.
Somebody's gonna have to call 911 on this bitch, because she's going to start problems in here.
Oh,
Like,
From
no.
the hood.
like,
Hey,
yep,
Cashel. Hey,
you're being a
everybody.
hoodlum.
What's
I
up?
Hi,
wanted to come through and support your
Hey,
stream. How are you guys doing?
good.
we're
Thank
Oh,
doing
you.
okay.
We're doing
We're
You're
doing
fine,
okay.
thank
welcome.
you.
Okay, go ahead. I
Yeah.
just wanted to be
Talking
polite and
about
say hello to
you.
everybody.
I've had my fair share of incidents with people in the workplace and people similar to that, like all of the loud talking. Oh, I'm going to do. Man, first off, you're not going to do anything. First of all, talking loud ain't never scared nobody, so you can miss me with that. But for the most part, man, people like I hope did he get rigged up or is he still there? Because
No, the guy after that incident, he was given the option of quitting, which was the best thing, because I was talking to my direct supervisor, which is he's a cool dude, and the guy was working with us, and I was telling him, we can't have this. We
yeah,
can't have this. I mean, if the company allows this and it doesn't discipline him in some other way, next incident is going to be even worse.
right,
Somebody might actually get hurt. Because look at his wife. His wife gets into the building, walks around the building, stomping around like she owned the place, looking for a certain somebody that she couldn't find, and then she starts announcing to the rest of us that I'm gonna find someone, so I'm gonna fuck her up. And that actually scares some of the ladies, because we have other women working at the company, and some of them are from other countries where they're not used to seeing scenes like that.
right.
And they were feeling a little bit scared at the presence of this one woman who goes in and starts acting ratchet, threatening with beating somebody up. Like, what the fuck? I mean, And I was telling my supervisor, like, come on, man, we can't have this. We can't have this. And if they let it slide on him, it's only gonna be worse next time. And I made sure to communicate that to whoever I had to communicate up in the hierarchy at work. And he was given the option. I mean, either quit or get fired. I mean, he wasn't gonna last much longer. And good riddance. Because I mean, I tolerated the guy because I was being a professional, but I couldn't really work with him. I mean, she was like,
I
too,
know
too,
y'all
too.
was happy.
Well, I
You know,
remember.
as Gigi, have you ever had any kind of situation like that at work? Have you seen anything at any of your jobs like that with the wife or the boyfriend coming in to beat somebody ass that he think flirting with a girl or something like that? Have you seen that?
Fortunately for me, I have never experienced that. Now, in my case, in my department, I'm the only male working there. I've seen, some issues with one union rep where at one point she was sending me a whole bunch of nasty emails on the agency email. So after a while, I got to a point where I say, if you continue with these emails, I'm going to report you to EEO for harassment. She finally stopped. I mean, and this is the crazy part. I mean, because when you are a union rep, um, that means you needs to conduct yourself in a certain with a certain decorum and a certain level of professionalism. Doesn't mean that we have to like each other. It's not like we're gonna go outside to a bar and have a drink, but we need to be civil with each other because when everything is said and done, we represent the members. And when you have one person, you know, acting like a Karen and going wild and what have you, and then you almost have to like threaten them, to report them to EEO. That's not a good situation at all.
No, it's never. It's never. It's very compromising, and um, it could create issues that then everybody's gonna have to pay the consequences for. That you just as soon as that those difficult types start showing up at the workplace, you just have to nip it in the bud and deal with them and get them out of the way. Because there is going to be somebody else that's going to take their place. Most likely, it's going to be better to work with, more professional. I mean, and one can only say being a professional so many times before somebody starts questioning that. But basically, being professional is kind of like always keeping the best attitude, the best behavior, and as appropriate for whatever it is that you're trying to do to perform a job, to perform a task. Approach it with the best behavior about it. And but there are people that might think that they think that they are more important than they really are, and they mess it up for themselves. And whatever issue it is that they have, oh well.
Gigi,
The,
I wanted to hear from you. I'm sorry to cut you off, Ramon. Can you relate to anything we're talking about?
Who, me?
Yeah, talking about
have you ever had some crazy ratchet showing up at your job, talking about that she's messing with your man or something?
No, no, but I have been at work and I seen this Puerto Rican girl and her husband showed up in the parking lot after work and like smacked her up and took her home. She was like cheating on him with some dude at the job.
it's
No,
always
but
the people at the job,
But
man.
most jobs don't fire the person, like the employee. Usually they just take the person to jail that shows up to the job. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. He must have had a bunch of problems already in the job for them to be like, you gotta go. You know what I mean?
What do you
Okay.
guys think about what I was talking about in the chit chat? You probably didn't hear it, but I was talking about Teen Mom OG. I don't know if you guys all know about Teen Mom, the TV show that comes on cable regarding, following the life of
Oh,
females
they
that
still do that? Oh, I thought that was like years ago. I didn't know they were still doing that.
Oh yes, it's still going on. I was catching a commercial, an advertisement for a new season. I'm like, I cannot believe this is still a thing. Like they're calling them OGs because it's been going on so
Wow.
long. They're now teen mom OGs. I'm like, since when in America are we publicizing and promoting and trending and like
Yeah.
hashtagging
Yeah,
this
teen
thing
pregnancy is being glorified. So, I mean, yeah, it's been
when we're
happening
talking
because
about?
for
that
many
show was
years.
interesting and everybody tuned in.
But
Yeah.
I remember a
Yeah, it got
time
the
when that was
ratings.
not an interesting thing. That was a taboo. It was a
Yeah.
cliche. It was negative. It was disrespectful. It was a shame on the family. Like it was
Yeah.
something that they didn't tell. They didn't speak your name. It was pregnant as a teenager because I felt like that when I was pregnant in high school. It was not teen mom OG did not come to me with no video camera for the check or nothing. So I feel some kind of way like, so why are we publicizing this? But at the same time,
Yeah.
we're overpopulated as a country. But at the same time, so my building walls and the migrant situation and abandoning abortion in certain places, but y'all glorifying teen mom OG, really?
Damn, they call it OG now. Oh man, like it's something respectable, something that
Right,
one has to
exactly.
respect.
Like it's a
Like what the?
goal.
Nah, nah. I mean, nah, nah. I just didn't know. I didn't know that was still that they were still making that show. I thought that was a show that they were doing like 20 years ago, and they moved on from that. I didn't know that they were still doing that. But then again, it's what gives it is what brings the ratings. And if if they keep doing that and it keeps bringing in the ratings, I guess they're gonna keep doing that for for a long time now. It's unfortunate because it's the normalization, normalization of reckless behavior. I
Yeah, but I
mean,
read that actually brought teen pregnancy down when all of the people saw that. I heard that it brought it down. I don't know if that's true or not. I might have to Google it, but I
Yeah, I'm
had
gonna
read
Google that
that
too.
yeah, that everybody's seeing because it wasn't like their lives were like easy. They were struggling on camera. Some of them were poor. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna check that out though. I'm
In the
interested.
beginning, for sure, a lot in the beginning when it first came out, for sure, there were girls that were struggling.
But
Now
they
these
blew
girls
up
are
now. Yeah.
porno stars. These girls are content creators. These girls got OnlyFans. Like these girls got individual shows and
oh
spin-off.
man,
Like these girls are like B-list, C-list celebrities.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I wondered if it brought the teen pregnancies down in the Bible Belt, because that will be the question. Because I understand that in kind of like in the north or on the west coast, well, maybe the teen pregnancies are not that problematic, but in the Bible Belt, that's a different story. Because if you look at the rates of teen pregnancies in what is called the Bible Belt of the United States, and where the highest teen pregnancies happen in the United States, is usually the same place. It's usually the same location. I mean, it's what is called the Bible Belt, in the southern states, like from Georgia to New Mexico, something like that. But yeah, yeah. Well, if they're not glorifying it, if it really had that type of effect, then I guess okay. I guess I can't have a problem with it. It's just that they made a whole series of shows that somebody was profiting off because of these girls getting pregnant. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder if there's a Teen Mom OG UK, Teen Mom OG Africa, Haiti. Like, is it just US that this is happening? I would like to know that. I'm gonna have
To
to
my
Google it.
understanding, it's only here. It's
I
only
think
here in
so.
the
So it's
States.
only here in America that this show is this popular about young girls and their stories being documented this way.
To be perfectly honest, I have never watched this series, so I'm not going to give uh, an opinion about it. But it seems like whenever there is any type, of TV show, whatever that brings out a lot of trauma, people going on, people going crazy, that seems to be very popular because it seems like people enjoy watching it for and it's understandable because it's like you're looking at other people, you know, who, whatever reason, they don't have their stuff together. So, on the one side it could be humorous, but on the other side it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely, I guess it could be both. I mean, there was a time where I actually knew some of the girls. There's so many pregnant girls up there now that I don't even know who the people were when I first saw the show when it first started off. Like, but again, teen mom myself, I'm not talking ish. I was definitely 15 pregnant, had a baby at 16. I was 17, my baby was turning 1. So I'm not talking ish at all, nothing negative about it, but it's like it's kind of contradictory regarding what we say America is the people, overpopulation, all this stuff they're talking about, with food and everything like that. It's like, but we're glorifying Team Emoji.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're doing such
I
a
mean, I
thing,
lost
but
track of the show. I
yeah.
did used to watch it or whatever. I'm not sure that it necessarily glorified it. I just think that it documented real people's stories. Some of them went and got married, did things right, still maybe ended up divorced. Some people went all the way left. Like, what was her name? Farah. She went and did a porno. Like, you just really got to see really, like,
Mm-hmm.
real life stories. I think that's
Mm.
what made people watch it. Because, a lot of these reality shows are kind of scripted, but that was really, really real life with those
Yeah.
people,
I
you
remember
know?
Farrah and the first one who gave up the baby and had another baby, got married to the guy, and they would
Yes.
go back and visit the first.
Tyler and what's her
Yeah,
name?
I remember them, but now
They
it's
end up doing really well.
good for them because those are
They
hood
stayed
rats that
together.
yeah, they had a
Yeah.
rough story, but it was like okay in the beginning documenting what they go through, but I'm like, y'all need to come to the hood. Y'all need to come to the low class, middle class, low poverty income and show those stories. Don't just show the ones that can be soft talk. Show all the stories. It ain't just happening in one area.
Yeah.
But
Right.
enough of that. Yeah, we're just talking about these YouTube streets as a YouTube subscriber. I'm a creator, like, all the things I've seen, negative and positive things that y'all told me I was gonna see that I didn't believe I was gonna see. Shout out to Vase of Flowers. Not sure how I know you, but thanks for pulling up to the chat. Um, it's been interesting. Like everything you've told me, Golden, I've definitely seen. To genitalias and live streams, to live apologies, to my own embarrassing moments with family members on live streams, to people saying really negative things about my physical features, like I've seen just about everything almost you told me I was gonna see in the very beginning when I first met you. So it's like, yes, it does get crazy in these YouTube streets. Like there is some things you're gonna see that you're not gonna believe possibly, but to people like y'all, I feel like y'all like the YouTube OGs. So y'all already know what's good, what's
Well,
popular.
they do that because they like to tell ugly people that they're beautiful. It sounds mean, but they like to tell ugly people that they're beautiful on social media, and they like to tell beautiful people that they're ugly on social media, like to, you know, just take a kick at people's confidence. It's just trolls, and some of them are just there to spread misery, you know?
Yeah.
And also, there's a certain amount of jealousy whenever any YouTube creator, whether it be male or female, they do well. Particularly if you are a female YouTube creator, it's like people like attack them, and then sometimes, unfortunately, people confuse YouTube for being Bumble or Tinder or whatever. It's not a dating site. It's not a hookup site. I mean, look. I mean, people do what they want. I mean, but the five of us that are here, we all create quality content. We all love what we do, and we all have to deal with certain members of the peanut gallery, which at times that make it into a five-ring circus. I mean, but in time we have learned, to avoid those that basically need therapy, and just deal with those who we can get along with.
Mhm.
Yep, absolutely. But I definitely saw I think a stream on Radical Latinos page last week, and he had that guy Tariq Nasheed, I think, and like a black girl, and it looked like it looked like he was screen recording on the guy's page, or maybe it was a video of the guy's page, but the guy Tariq Nasheed, who I believe he's a part of that FBA group, whatever the case is, he was
And
going.
he's the leader. He's the leader of the FBAs.
he was going in like talking so much negative trash like about black girls. I
Who
couldn't
was?
stream. I could not give the stream 5 minutes. I had to log out
You talking about
immediately.
Radical Latino was?
No, not Radical Latino. The guy in the stream, I think
Oh.
it was Tariq Nasheed.
Oh, okay.
The Radical it was on Radical's page. I guess he was doing a commentary. I didn't give Radical's channel I didn't give the video enough time to even process what was happening because I was just so turned off about what the guy was saying. And I should have gave it all of my attention so, not be subjective to just what I was hearing at that moment. But I'm like, all right, I think this is the FBA guy everybody be talking about when it comes to, I hate to talk about this conversation, but the blacks that are in that group, other blacks who are not in that group, and blah 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 blah. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. I don't like to get into that conversation because it's just
Wait, you said the blacks that are what?
the free Black Americans, whatever the FBA group
Oh,
sound.
the FBAs. Okay.
Those
Yeah,
groups
foundational Black Americans.
versus the group of black people that have nothing to do with that don't know what the hell that is. They never heard
Yeah.
of it. Like me, never heard of it until I joined on YouTube. But again, so I'm just like, you know what? This is a stream that I can entertain, but I love Radical Stream. She has great content, great, audience and everything, but I just could not digest it because I was just annoyed and disgusted by the things I was hearing the guy was saying. But I know there's an audience for that. There are people that get riled up. They want to get in the super chat. They want to reshare and repost and jump on a panel, and those streams are just not for me.
So a leader of a black movement was dragging black women?
From what I could
see, because there is okay. Yeah.
I could be wrong. Maybe she was Dominican. Maybe she was Haitian. She looked black from what I
Yeah,
saw.
they don't like foreigners. It probably was that. It's probably more.
No,
Yeah.
that was her name. That's Jen Garcia. She's Boricua.
Okay.
No,
I was gonna say that's strange.
I couldn't tell. She has some.
No, but that was an argument. That was an argument that the two had a couple of years ago, and Radical was showing that clip from on his channel. But the thing is that Janicia Garcia was confronting him about it. It all started with a comment that she made on her Instagram. The whole thing about the scabs. She mentioned something about the scabs, and many people were getting offended in the black community. Were getting offended about that. Understand, Janicia Garcia. I'm saying this here right now. She may be waving the Puerto Rican flag, but if you look at her content, she's more of a black feminist because she does have that part on her. If you look at her content, notice that you don't see Latinos or Puerto Ricans calling up to her channel. It's usually Black Americans.
Is she an Afro-Latina?
And her co-host
She's not
is a tranny. It's a tranny. It's a tranny who is Black American. Yeah,
Ramon, is she an Afro-Latina?
Well,
I don't know who she is.
I don't call. She doesn't call herself that.
She considers herself Boricua, and like Ramon was saying, is a lot of the times it's mostly she has more of a Black American feminist ideology, and she believes in the whole intersectionality and gender fluidity thing, and that's mostly who she's appeals to, and that's who her core audience is. And she's kind of like
the gays.
Yeah, because her co-host. That's what I'm saying. Her co-host is a tranny. It's what they will call a transgender, but it's more a RuPaul type.
I don't think we're allowed to call them trannies anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they call them. I don't think they use that term right now. But it's a transsexual. It's a transsexual with all of the cadence and the makeup, but it's a dude. You can tell that it's a dude.
But for me, it was just how he was talking about how all black girls under 20 got bonnets and slippers with fur. He was just being super duper negative and stereotypical to like one era of black women in one sector he sees. Like I just was not for him. I'm like, not Radical Latino, but the guy in the video that he was showing on his stream. And
yeah.
He was a Latina.
unfortunately, this is nothing new with the guy. I mean, because I'm talking about somebody who used to follow him. I used to follow his stuff, and he's been around for over 20 years. And kind of like he used to be cool because he will put out books that had to do with dating and relationships, and he wasn't talking about he wasn't talking badly about women in the books. But if you go to his older podcast, he had about a podcast, Mark Lessons Radio. I think that the website is still up, and you can check out the old podcast. And in some of them, he will be talking in a very derisive way about Black American women, and how women of other races were better, and how a black man shouldn't be with a black woman, that he should be with a biracial, or that he should be with a woman from another country that comes from a different culture, because that's better than a black bitch. I mean, he will refer to them as that. I mean, and that was in all the recordings that he made. But the thing is that he's being a bit hypocrite, because he now he wants to talk shit about people from other countries and women of other countries that he used to prop up, that he used to put on a pedestal, because that's what getting him paid now. But that whole FBA thing is something that he made up. It's not a lineage. It's a group. It's a grifting. It's a grifting hustle that he has. And I wish that his people, that his people will that follow him and donate to him, because he has people donating to him. The whole museum. There are some of the FBA, the folks that consider themselves FBA, that are still talking about that he established a museum. That's not what he did. He apparently was forced to buy a building that he set up a lounge, and he actually has set up for his people to give him monthly payments so he can pay for the place, even though he collected like $1 million to buy he's hustling these people. He's doing what preachers do. He's doing the exact same thing. Understand that the man is an ordained minister. I heard him say those words. He said it. I heard him say the words that he's an ordained minister. So he already has the game. He already has learned the game as to how to have people giving him money, and he tells people what they want to hear. I mean, he's not getting anything about reparations. There are people that are exposing him for the grief that he is. So and when it came to the argument with Janicia Garcia, the comment that she made on her Instagram, that's what prompted them having that discussion, that it was an argument, and that's when Jen brought up the whole thing about him talking shit about black women, which is true. She says a lot of shitty things about black women, but he's trying to promote this whole thing about being black, this whole thing about black pride, but talking shit about black women at the same time. That I don't think that it doesn't work that way. I don't think that's how it is. I can't think as a Hispanic, as a Puerto Rican, that I can talk about unity amongst my own, but I'm talking shit about Puerto Rican women. I don't think that will come across very well.
That's why even like on YouTube, some biracial women do have maybe problems getting along or being accepted by certain black women content creators on YouTube. But I just feel like I couldn't sit on the guys' side against the women. At the end of the day, black women are holding it down. They're like the most educated. They're working. They're taking care of the kids. Like, I don't feel like the men are in no position to say anything really about them. But controversial opinion maybe. So yeah.
Well, actually, on one of my streams, I actually devoted with this topic regarding that topic, because unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation regarding it. And in fact, Keisha was actually my co-host, and we actually had an interesting discussion.
Yeah, I was gonna do a stream on the bitter baby daddies, just to be funny and just to be, ornery or whatever. But they're dragging these women for being baby mamas or single, but like they're the ones taking care of the kids. Like, if that's the case, why don't all of them go back home and get back with their baby mama? Okay.
I wanted to
Actually,
speak on
I'm
that
sorry,
really quick.
if I can.
I'm just saying, and then problem fix, right?
I wanted to speak on that really quickly with me being the black man on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more nuances to this. It's not just black and white as far as men just talking down on women. Because if you follow this content and you follow this space long enough, you will see some of the horrendous things that some of these women within our community have said about black men.
We
And
see that as well.
it's a whole lot of it. Actually, the reason why you have a response that you have now is from the spaces of a lot of these women saying the most disparaging things about men. A lot of black men are well off. A lot of black men are well to do, and at least in the spaces that I've seen, um, mostly with our situation as a group of people, we wouldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for black men. And it's a lot of black men that are taking care of their households and they are handling their business, and they're not just baby daddies or out on the streets, anything else like that. I've seen in the space where you had certain women, call black men bullet bags. You got women out here sounding like neo Nazis, um, hoping that you get deleted, wishing, wishing a passing upon you and everything else. And a lot of these women are in the 200 to 300,000 subscriber base. It's a lot more than them than that's just Tariq Nasheed. You have a lot of female content creators that are misleading young girls into quote unquote divesting or doing whatever, and they don't even have any type of answers or results for these women, and they create this imagery in these young girls' minds just for subscribers and just for subscribers and super chats and cash apps. And you have these girls out here who already got this preconceived notion and prejudice, and they're going out here thinking that they're going to get with somebody of another group, and then they end up being misled into being in a bad situation. That's happening a lot as well. Of course, you see the back and forth that's going on because unfortunately, black men have never had a voice to speak, and you've had a lot of women within our community that's fallen for the okie doke of feminism and falling for the okie doke of getting, resources and getting, different crumbs and everything to feel like they're more elevated than their men. Therefore, they have a superiority complex when it comes to their own men. And people have been acting like this for a very long time. That's why you get people like the Iana Transants and the Shahrazad Ali's who've been speaking about this since the 90s. So it's a lot more to it than just what Tariq Nasheed is saying. Like, I don't agree with what he's saying, and I don't agree with trying to disparage certain women, but I can understand the frustration of men, because if a lot of these men was this bad, how come some of these men are finding success in interracial relationships? If black men was the scum of the earth and we was that low and we was that
But black women are finding happy, successful, leveled up relationships with white men as well.
Okay, the percentage of that is so minuscule. I mean, it might be.
Yeah, but it's going to grow because the
here and there.
divestors are growing, obviously. So I understand that.
The divestor thing is a non-starter because a lot of the divestors can't even get along with men. Period. I mean, they're not. That situation is not gonna change just because they are getting with white men. The problems
I feel like
the
women that spew hateful rhetoric towards the men, and the men that spew hateful rhetoric to the women, all of them have problems being with anybody, and most of them are all single.
Can I ask you a quick question, Gigi?
If I can touch
Hold on one second, Jose. Hold on one second, because I just wanted to finish my statement really quickly. Do you think for every action is a reaction, right?
Yeah, but when I first came to YouTube, the first stuff that I heard was Tommy, and I was appalled by his content. You know what I mean? So I didn't. I don't think it's like, I don't watch people like Divested Zealot or like Extremist or whatever. But yeah, for every action is a reaction both ways. That's why it doesn't stop, right? Because they both keep going.
Okay, because for every Tommy, you got a Tommy, you got
a Cynthia,
you got. I can name them all on my fingers. You got Chrissy, who has over 290 something thousand subscribers. You got Paris Milane, got over 300 and something thousand subscribers. You got Cynthia. You got Cynthia G with over 140,000 subscribers. You got Mahogany Pink with over 50,000 subscribers. You got Lexus Exodus with over close to 100,000 subscribers. You got Real Talk with Yanni with 200 and 300,000 subscribers. I can go on and on. I don't even have enough fingers to count all these divestment BWE channels that are sent, giving a lot of these women misinformation. And just imagine a young man that's living in a vacuum, because most of us, in order for you to even pay attention to what's going on, you have to be of some type of conscious. You got to be conscious of what's going on. So imagine a man just living in a vacuum, and he's dealing with women that look down on him, that hate him, that make little snide remarks about him, treat him wrong, and he don't understand why and don't know why. And then he happens to, you know what, I wanted to date certain women, but now I found love and respect, outside of that. In his mind, with not even understanding why things are the way that they are, or why everything is going on the way that it's going on, he may make disparaging remarks based off of his past treatment as a
I'm
young man.
curious to know what Cashel thinks about all this as a Black woman.
Yeah, I was gonna finish and let Cashel speak. I was just painting that picture.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that to you. I was just saying in general. I just wanted to know what she thought about all that because she's been quiet.
Yeah, I stepped away. But
Oh, okay.
y'all have to repeat maybe what y'all want me to comment on. Sorry.
Oh Lord, girl. Go ahead,
Oh,
Rakim. Tell her what you were saying.
No, because the things I've seen, to be honest, I've seen things three, and I'm not just saying that to be biased. I've seen things 3 or 4 times worse than some of the things that these women are saying. Oh, I love it when I see it. It turns me on when a black man gets deleted, and I love to see that type of stuff. You like the mental sickness that you have to have. I haven't seen a lot of men talking like that. I haven't seen any men say, "Oh, we're going to delete all black girl babies." You don't see that coming from men. Now, you may see certain men say disparaging things as far as a woman's looks or she wear weave, but you don't never see to that extreme. You never have seen that at all. And I've been in these spaces. I've been in these spaces since 2008, 2009. And I've never seen men go to that extreme. And for the women that are, if they so divested and so happy, it's a lot of those women that are doing the complaining. And then you have certain women that said that they were just going to stop dealing with men altogether because they can't get it right. Even when they step outside of their group, they date men with the similar mentality of the men that they was dating within the group. And then once they leave that, and then they date women, they in same sex relationships, the domestic violence rates are through the roof. So obviously some of these women are so mentally disturbed they can't get along with anybody.
I'm gonna comment on that, but I see Jose wants to say something. He wants to jump in. Please speak, Jose.
Yeah. First of all, as a person that actually married a single mother, and unfortunately it didn't work out, and I can say that we were both guilty of that. Now, I don't have an issue if people decide to date outside their ethnic group. The issue is when they trash the members of the opposite sex of that group. Okay, and that I seen that with both men and women. Okay, and one thing that we need to understand that sometimes people can have a fetish regarding certain people. Like people have fetishes regarding Latinos. Some people have fetishes regarding Black people. Some people have fetishes regarding different types of people. Okay, men, for the most part, men are the same, whether you be Black, Latino, mixed, or what have you. Okay. Unfortunately, some people have the notion that if I date a Latino, or if I date a white person, or if I date a Black person, that person's going to be like super duper wonderful. And that person could be, but it had nothing to do with their ethnicity. It has to do with their character. And, it does that. Unfortunately, we have certain people that have been allowed to say trash against men, and let's keep it real. Men have said some trashy stuff about women as well. But the difference is that um, certain people get sanctioned on YouTube for their content, and certain people don't. That's where the issue is.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I definitely see that too, and I remember talking about that recently on somebody else's stream, or I remember hearing someone talking about the censorship of YouTube on someone else's stream. So I definitely feel you on that. That's a realistic thing. It just seems like no matter how much you try to pay attention to the community rules and guidelines, still some people don't get as much attention to their channels versus others. Like it's really weird and funny like that. But thank you for your comment, Jose. I really do appreciate you adding that to the conversation. But to add to what Gigi and the 18th was saying regarding what I picked up, from what I picked up, I definitely want to say like I've definitely dated, men outside of African American men, Hispanic and Caribbean, like nothing more beyond that. And for me, I've never been a part of that community that felt like, I wanted to vote and advocate for black men to be deleted. Like I've never come across that, not in my household. I have heard things in my household about how niggas wasn't shit and all of that, but that's never been me. I mean, yes, I will say at one point in my life, I did think at some point that all men were so messed up that yes, I should be gay. Yes, I should date a woman. Yes, I should experience that. I should, see what that's about because I did at one point feel like, you know what, all these men are the same. But yet again, that was me in like my 20s when we may call it the 304 days or having fun, experimenting, learning, whatever the case is. But as I got older, I definitely had a different outcome or, view on it. But I ain't going front. I do see that around me in my community and my neighbors in the news. I definitely see there are a lot of women moving in that way, in that fashion. So I do know that is a real thing. There are those women you may call it for mental health reasons or they only have mommies and girls in the house. They just act and move and breathe on that way because the system is set up to make them feel like, you don't really need a man for anything. You really get anything you want on your own. So depending on what kind of support or what you saw in your household, you may be conditioned to move and think that way. But that's not me.
Okay.
So hopefully I answered that. I'm hungry, so I have to heat up some fish. So I'm like, I'm gonna go heat up this fish. I know about it. I'm gonna fly to the kitchen, and I ain't gonna miss nothing. I can hear it, but I'm like, ooh, I heard my name. Gotta run back.
Okay.
I don't know. I just look at them all the same. The ones that have the extreme negative content. I know that there's like levels to this ish or whatever. I'm talking about those certain ones that are more so extremists on YouTube. And even when I'm talking about in general, women and men, I'm talking about the overall like statistics, not necessarily people we know. Obviously, I know that my father is a successful black man, so I know that, Rakim. But I'm just talking about as far as everybody knows that, black women have the most education, make the most money, and they are doing better on average.
That's not true. That's not true, Gigi.
Yeah, that's a common narrative.
Okay, so
That's a
show me,
common
'cause that's what
narrative, Gigi.
I mean,
Okay,
I
show me.
feel like that's
That's a
not.
common that's a common narrative. I
And
mean,
that's no stab against my own women, anything like that. I was raised by a very intelligent, very sophisticated black woman, which was my grandmother. But this notion about, a lot of women being the most educated and all of that, they're the most enrolled in college. And on top of that, black men, the majority of black men are in the middle class. And you have a lot of the women that went to school for college because college is a scam if you're not going for the right profession. They got into the wrong profession and they have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. And some of those women are barely making it, which is why they was trying to get Biden to put something in place to relieve them from debt. But that's not going to happen because America is built on corruption when it comes to finances. And it was a scam to begin with to get a lot of these women enrolled in certain to get certain degrees that they're not going to be able to do anything with outside of what they studied in college, and they're going to work some rinky-dink job after they leave and have $200,000 worth of debt, $50,000 or $100,000 worth of debt. And that's what's going on right now. A lot of men didn't do that because men went the blue collar route. They seen it was nothing for them in college. And you have a lot of black men that's in the professions of truck driving and the professions of electrician, they're in any type of trade, welding, and different things like that. And for the most part, those men are doing very well because the blue collar is what makes up most of the black man's workforce. And those men are doing very well. A lot of those men was even working during COVID, while a lot of people that worked in corporate positions was out of a job. So it's not true, Gigi. It's not true. It's easy for us to watch a lot of propaganda on YouTube and believe videos that people write, but all you got to do is just do a little bit of the research and Google a few things, and you'll see it's a false narrative.
I only say it's not true, Gigi, because I have like 100K in debt. I have a master's, I have a bachelor's, I have an associate's. I'm working at a job and I'm not using any of my degrees. It is almost extremely impossible for me to get a job to pay back my loans, which is going to start very, very soon. And I feel like there's so much competition that it feels like the only way I can do it is to leave New York City. In addition to that, I also feel like, yes, Black women are doing better. There are more Black entrepreneurs, Black creators, Black business owners. Yes, I do see it in that way, as far as us getting that opportunity. But I still feel like it's a long struggle.
But you're also paying a pretty penny to live in New York. You could take that master's degree down here to Florida and live a way more comfortable life, I'm sure. I mean, to be honest.
Very true. And you're right.
You can get a big house, all that, like for what you pay for an apartment. You know what I mean? That's why there's so many New Yorkers down here. They come down here like we living it up down here.
Oh, snap. I got another person joining the panel real quick. Hold on one second. I'm going to let y'all know who this is. What's good, yo?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
What's up with you, Rad? Where you been at?
I wanted to join the fight. What's going on?
Yeah, it became a little bit of a battle of the sexes, but just touching on other things. What's going on?
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just listening to the back and forth, and I somewhat agree on certain points, somewhat disagree on other points, but it's fine.
What did you agree and disagree with, Rad?
Well, I do agree with Rakim's assessment on there's these like toxic channels out here, bashing Black men, and you don't really see men in general emotionally invested on bashing women, unless if you're talking about the Fresh and Fits of the world, but that's literally like one channel, one or two maybe if you like include Tommy. But outside of that, men don't really. We could care less about what women really think or what would they really do. You know what I mean? But also, I see Gigi's point too, that there's some women that do live in certain environments where men who think like this, they get kind of somewhat brainwashed, and now they think all men are like that.
And I think sometimes it's even personal or bad experiences because, look, man, like in those environments I grew up in too, and I know this is just my personal experience, but a lot of my close friends out of those environments, most of them are doing well with their spouse. One of my boys, he's been with his girlfriend. Well, it was his girlfriend. This is wife now. He was with his girlfriend since they was 17, 18, and they married now with a child. Like one of my other boys, came up in the same environment. He became a firefighter, and he's married to his spouse, and they got a child and own a house in the suburb outside the city. It's a lot of dudes that's doing well, but it's certain times too that a lot of people don't want to admit. When you're attracted to certain elements of that man, you take whatever comes with that man. And that's the thing. You like if you he cute, he got swag. Yeah, I know he out in the streets, and I know I understand we all come from that environment, but what may come with that. And if you thought he was attracted, if you thought he was attractive, there's other women that think he's attractive too, and they may be chasing after your man.
But don't you think it kind of goes both ways, because men kind of fall in that same thing too? Looking at certain type of women who are not good for us, I'll just say, and then hey, who cares if she's a gold digger, whatever the case is? I'm gonna still try to see if I could do whatever, and then they end up like owing 200,000 to the bank because she finessed you. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of goes both ways. Like,
Are
I
you
understand
talking
what
about like with the athletes and different things like
no,
that?
I'm not talking about just athletes. I'm just talking about like regular, just regular, like
No,
those hood
for the
rats
most part,
that just want the bread. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
those dudes.
Yeah, like it goes both ways. They're like
No, but
complaining about 304s and city girls, but like obviously you're dating them, right?
Yeah,
And then they're talking about getting
but
them
for the
younger
ones
and
that's
younger and younger. Well, I mean, a lot of young women are in a hoe phase at that age, like Cashel
but
was talking about earlier,
for the ones that deal with them, a lot of the times other men don't even pay no. That's like, for instance, when you see men dealing with these type of women, obviously you must be that type yourself, because a lot of the times the men that are doing decent, that don't, like, most of the times they don't deal with those women, or those women don't find those type of men attractive, so they going about their business. It's only down the line later on, when a lot of those women didn't get what they set out to get, that they start the bashing and everything else. Like, and for them dudes, that if you paying 200,000 and you got finessed by her, you ain't see the red flags. That's common sense. That's like when, if you go up to your boy and say, "Hey man, I done fell in love with this stripper that
Bro,
worked down the
have
Oh,
hall."
you seen,
that is a whole song about that.
bro? Have you
Yeah,
seen?
no,
Have you seen? I think this TLC show where this dude, there's this guy that obviously is getting finessed by this woman that doesn't exist, by the way, and
That doesn't
every
exist.
I'm telling you, it's on YouTube, bro. It's on TLC. I forgot the name of the show, but they're just making fun of this guy because he's literally getting finessed, and they keep on proving to his family, the producers of the show, people online, like proving to this guy, this woman doesn't exist, and you
Yeah, it
keep
could very
on
well
getting
be a dude.
finessed. And this guy still will be like, nah, she loves me, bro. So I understand
Definitely,
what
he
you're saying.
hasn't met.
That's
He
his
hasn't
I,
met.
I understand what you're saying, Rakim, but also in the same time, it's not that obvious. Some dudes are brain dead.
okay. Let me just say this real quick, then I wanted to let everybody else speak. But you made one comment. You spoke about one common thing when you said he was getting finesse, right? But everybody was trying to tell him that he was getting finesse. Most men, if they see the red flags, they're gonna tell you, "Hey man, that girl ain't nothing. Oh man, such and such slept with that girl. You shouldn't be trying to wipe that up." It doesn't work that way for women. Most women are not going to tell their girlfriends that, "I don't think you should be with him," or "You don't. I don't. I don't think you should be having to deal with that dude because I see the writing on the wall and he got a reputation with this." Most women don't do that. A lot of women will encourage their girlfriends to go and crash out so they can have somebody to sit around and talk to at the coffee table and say how much these men ain't shit down the line. Most men, if anybody got, if most men are going to tell you, "Yo, you're being stupid. You don't see that." And then if he got after that, most men are going to make fun of him. We see
Yeah,
it
yeah,
time.
that's how
they
it is
are
between men.
exposing them on YouTube, and literally these old dudes, they're leaving their like 40-year-old marriages because they're getting got by some catfish in Nigeria. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And what's the name that what's the name that we got for men like that? GG. What do other men call those
Since
men? Simps or a trick?
well,
Like, it's just
Trick and sugar daddies and
yeah.
This message
I
from
mean, we already got classifications for them. I mean, we're not making excuses for those guys. Those guys are getting finesse and they're getting taken for a ride financially. It's on them. If they have been warned, nobody. We're not making excuses for them. Is what I'm trying to say. I mean, when it comes to women, if women make mistakes, then they enjoy the option of kind of like not thinking and get involved with the wrong dude, getting pregnant by him and all of that. But the thing is that there is going to be a community of women that are going to rub her back and say, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You didn't do
That
anything
is true.
wrong." And,
The accountability factor in certain groups of women are literally lost. There's no
non-existent,
and
accountability.
men as well,
There's no
non-existent.
and
accountability
men
No,
as
no, no,
well.
whatsoever.
no, 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 no,
But
no.
the difference between between women and men, though, is that when the accountability goes to men, we get hit with accountability regardless by not getting pussy, by not talking to by these women not even talking to us. We go broke. There's child support, but for women, when they get pregnant by some dude that was a drug dealer that already had 4 baby moms, and she thought she was going to change him by being the 5th baby mom, and he's no longer around. Oh, child support, that's not a problem. Don't worry about it because the court's going to take care of it. There you go. There's accountability out the window. You see what I'm saying? So we really got to.
Well,
see.
drug dealers probably don't have jobs usually because they're drug dealers. But I get your
Well,
point.
of course they don't. Drug dealing is their job. Drug dealing is their job. Of course they don't have
Street
a
pharmacists. Street pharmacists.
Actually, to be,
Okay,
I
but
think
you know something?
wasn't there a state that literally said if a guy is a drug dealer, but is owing child support, you could literally pay your drug dealing with the child support or whatever the case is, or something like that. It was a state that said that actually passed that law. They were like, listen, we could care less what you do as long as you pay, bro. You know?
Yeah, they were
figure it
But you know
out.
something? But you know something, would solve the problem right away. Mandatory DNA testing whenever a woman gets
I'm all
pregnant,
for it.
because
I'm all
that
for it.
way you can end once and for all the idea where men are being forced to pay child support for a child that was never his to begin with. Okay,
That's
so
like
and
1 in
all
3.
I agree with that.
That's
No
like
big deal.
1
They do every
out
other
of
test in the
every 3.
hospital.
Child
you know,
support
and
payers
the
are
thing,
paying for child support for kids that are not there. So I'm all for it. Sorry, Jose.
so my thing is this: if you made it mandatory, first of all, you know who's the father. Number one. And number two, you go after the one that actually got the chick pregnant. And it's not fair that a person that being led 20, 30 years paying for child support only to find out that
The kid wasn't his, but he's stuck
this
with it.
wasn't his.
Did you guys see
Yeah,
that they
but
just
if
ordered Halle Berry to pay $8,000 a month to her second baby daddy now? So
Yeah?
she's paying mad child support to them two
bravo,
baby daddies,
bravo.
Well,
and
boo
they have joint
hoo.
custody. They have joint custody.
Joint custody. Joint custody. Are you
Bravo, about
sure?
time.
I think
She
they
wouldn't have
do.
to
I
pay that
think the
much.
courts,
Bravo
the courts,
conversation, Jose.
the
Like
court.
now she's paying child support because she makes more money than her baby daddy.
I believe that's what courts will say.
Well,
They'll determine
uh-huh.
whoever makes
Yeah,
more.
because she dated down both times.
And on top of that,
Have visitation,
and on top of that, they will actually see what is the most beneficial thing for the child. So if Halle Berry is paying child support to the guy, that means the child, even if it's joint custody, the child is living with the guy. So
yeah, because I can't see how she could be paying child support. So like something don't sound right there.
No, they say she got the worst lawyers in the world. She's paying both of them baby daddies mad child support.
Like you see what her new husband now divorced and her taking her money too.
And here's the thing, and that's
Not
why
only that, she has to pay all child like all the expenses, school, everything else, insurance, she got to pay everything basically. That's what happens too when you date down, for men and women, right?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a lot of men are having to deal with the same thing. So, I mean, it's only a tragedy because it's happening to one woman. I mean, when it happens to men, nobody says shit because that's what it's supposed to happen.
let's be completely honest. Majority of women who are in a upper echelon financial bracket is not going to date down. They're going to either date equal or go higher.
Yeah.
So by the fact that Halle Berry dated down, I think is because she got to the point where either people around her circle didn't want her no more because she's not that young, or for whatever reason, I have no idea. So the only option was to either date down because these guys will be like, yeah, sure, whatever, you're hot, I don't care if you're 40. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean that's how it mostly goes. But the funny thing is, like, I haven't seen all of the videos talking about that particular group of men that how they the worst of the worst. I ain't never seen no brother do nothing like that.
They are dragging them right now, talking about how she done got by two white dudes. Yeah, they're dragging them.
I mean, I've never seen it, but
Because I think people are shocked now with the second order because it was like the first one was like okay, but now it's like two. Like she's doing worse than Brittany at this point.
Wait, hold on. Wait, 18th. What do you mean you haven't seen I don't get it. What you mean?
I've never seen brothers get with women and then take them and run them through the cleaners in the court of law where they're forced to pay. Can you imagine if a black man did that? I'll just put it that way, right?
Probably, if we really wanted to look at it, maybe historically that probably did happen. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
No,
I don't think it's gonna be that far fetched for us to figure this out. You know, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like the fact is that all of these people that say, you know, all of these divestors or this group of men is better, this group of men is better, none of them is speaking on Halle Berry's situation. And it's not just Halle Berry, it's been other women that has been in similar situations like that, where it was even one situation where I saw on the internet this woman, quote unquote, divested. She was living with her bottom shelf Brad in the hotel room, and she's doing all the working while he's laying up in the hotel room. And you know, he had the nerve to get mad. She used some of the money that she was making. They barely had any money. She used some of the money that she was making to get peanut butter and jelly and bread for her children, to feed her children. And this dude literally got mad at that. But these are the stories you don't really hear about. You don't hear about none of these stories, but they're out there. And that's the funny thing. Now you people, oh, Halle Berry got herself for Brad. She got her, and they turned around and they took her to the cleaners.
wait,
Literally
somebody say Keisha Cole.
Huh?
Yeah, because Keisha Cole dates that NBA player, Boobie Johnson, and I think she paid child support to him.
Well, there you go. There's an
She gotta
example.
pay
there's a
child
lot. Yeah, I think
There's an
even what's that
example.
guy Al Reynolds? They get like prenups too, and they get cashed out. I mean, if you make less and you're marrying somebody rich, you're gonna get a paycheck one way or another, including men.
That's a fact. Look
when
what
you
happened to Brittany. Brittany is
Brittany's
paying
get
child
yeah.
support.
Her baby
Yeah.
daddy literally done moved to Hawaii to get the child support extended.
Yeah.
He's the dirtiest of the dirty.
Yeah, but look, it happens, bro. It happens, and even there's some black men. Look, Keisha Cole's example, right? There's some black men that did the same thing, and they're getting paid.
That's one. You got Boobie Johnson. Other than that, name me anybody else, please.
I don't know. I probably have to Google it. I'll probably give you a whole list. Like
No,
you know,
I'm not talking. I'm
saying-
talking about. I'm talking to Irby, but you're not gonna be able to find it, Rad. You're not. You can Google it right now.
I don't think it's that hard to figure that one out. But my thing is I don't think that the child support system has something against black men and just specifically that's saying, oh no, we're not gonna pay them. Dude, at the end of the day, what they do, whatever is right for the child. They could care less who the dad is.
No, they.
You know what? Jennifer Hudson had to pay her
It's true,
husband a bunch
bro.
of money too.
And because her husband was the person that was there from the beginning, and he was there with her, working with her all through the tragedies of her mother and her brother and everybody else passing away, and being with her and working, and the one that was literally taking
But that's
care of
fine. I feel like if a couple is rich together, then both should walk away with something. But how come that energy isn't towards women when they walk away with their pay cut?
that energy's. I mean, what do you
mean?
What energy you have been getting? Women have been getting away with that, with taking men to the cleaners and getting richer. The richest women in the world.
I'm just
right
saying
now,
the disdain towards
off
it.
their divorce.
Wait, Gigi, that's what you said.
Men are getting this. Men have the same rights now. Is my point. You know what I mean? Maybe they're not utilizing the court system in the same way, but they can.
Utilize it, and they should utilize those rights more. And women should stop complaining about it, because women will call it a tragedy. Women complain and about it and scream and cry because it's such a tragedy that a woman had to pay child support or maybe alimony. But men have been doing that for the whole time. The whole time that those things have been instituted, men have had to deal with it, and they have had to deal with it because that's the whole accountability.
So do men
thing
actually
on
want to be
men.
men anymore, or do they just want to be women now?
Well, when did I say that? When did I say that? When did I say that? When did I say that men don't want to be men anymore? On the contrary, men need to be men. But they should be able to exercise their rights too.
Let me say this before I go. I made 2 video reactions on this whole child support thing, right? Literally, it was there was another case where a black woman had to pay child support to her ex-husband, who's a black guy, and that that was a thing. You know what I mean? Just for that's another example. But it just doing these reactions about child support, I kind of learned that it's literally the courtroom pretty much determines any outcome, what is best for the child, not who's gonna get enough amount of money to buy wigs and fucking go on vacation. They don't care about that. What they care about is what is more beneficial for the child. Who's paying the health insurance? What school do they go to? Is it public or private? Who's paying for that? That's how they determine it. It doesn't really matter. They don't go based on race. You feel me? They literally determine it like who is it beneficial for the child. If the man is literally there 24/7, then guess what? The woman is gonna pay. That's all it is.
It does. Race is definitely a factor in the child support system, right? It definitely
I'm
is.
not saying it's not 100%, but not saying that okay, you're a black man, so even though you deserve money, we're not gonna give it to you because of that. That's a little. Come on, dude. That's I could literally show you many examples of that's not happening. But I'm not gonna be oblivious saying that race doesn't probably play a part. Of course, there's probably some crooked judges out there or whatever. But based on other evidence, no, you could literally see that black men have done that to their own women or other groups of women, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, like besides like with the examples that they given, it's a very rarity because it's a lot of brothers that go to court and they try to fight for their kids and they don't give them custody at all. And some of them can be the breadwinners. And the whole child support thing within the black community, that's been a scam that's been going on for quite some time. It's only now that a lot of other men are starting to feel the bite but this has been squeezing the life out of certain men within the black community for a long time. It's been men that's went to try to get their kids to get custody for their children. Like my children will be in a better situation if they're with me as the father. And then there's been incidents where they was not granted custody and then the child end up losing its life in custody of the mother. So it's a lot. It's a lot
so
more.
just like women get blamed for getting knocked up by drug dealing Tyrone, then men get blamed for knocking up women that aren't their wives that they got to pay child support for at the end of the day because they don't want to be with them.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is that if those men, the men that they got to accept accountability for that. That's why they're going to court trying to fight for their child to get their child. I don't see you're not going to see that in the other way around, in my personal opinion. You don't have
like they definitely don't show it a lot as much as you see it the other way around. Like you were just saying, like it's not promoted, it's not advertised, you don't hear about it as much, but we do know us black, brown, and Latino got a friend or a cousin or a homie or a sister of a friend that we know that's going through that situation. There are a lot of good black men, brown and Latino. They do not get the acknowledgement. They are doing the right thing. Some of them are better than their mother. That's a fact. But
that's true. That's true.
It does not. It's not foreshadowed. It's not put in the limelight. I don't know why that is, but I agree with you.
You know why it is.
That's true. And usually,
well, of course, systematic shit too. Yeah, we know why. But
usually, like the court system is always going to side with the woman. That's been something from the start because women do have this stereotype of being motherly figures and nurturing and stuff like that. So it's understandable, but in the same time, like K Fit just said and 18 just said, there's a lot of men that are actually a lot better than the women, and it's unfortunate that that other side isn't shown. You feel what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that other side isn't shown. Maybe I think was it what the Will Smith movie showed that other side. I think was it Happiness? I think it was.
Yeah,
Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. So that at least it shed some light on certain men being the protector. You know what I'm saying? Being the protector and also playing both roles. You feel me? But anyway, listen, K-Fit, thank you for having me in. I gotta go. My wife is looking at me weird, like, yo, we got a movie to watch.
Feeling. I got you. Thanks for popping in.
All right, peace.
But yeah,
All right.
guys,
Good one.
I do agree. Even to Father's Day, Father's Day is still not as big as Mother's Day. You know, like even though that's so off the topic, but I feel like Father's Day is now just getting to the point where it's almost as equal as Mother's Day. But even Father's Day is still outshined by Mother's Day. You know, hence that mothers are more important than fathers, and we already know in all situations that is not always necessarily the case. But it's an agenda.
Teamwork make the dream work.
It's an agenda, you know. It's a situation. We all know behind the scenes what it really is, you know. So people just choose not to speak about it.
Yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to speak on what you were saying just a minute, Kishelle, and I just wanted to throw this in here because based off of what you've seen on YouTube and different things like that, people are comfortable with this narrative. It's the easiest thing to do is bash and talk down on black men. That's what everybody wants to do in order, because you can, of course, you can make money off of it on YouTube. And it's the easiest thing to do and not do any type of research, any type of factual statistics or anything. Most people just believe whatever that's being put out there. Like a lot of the media sources don't have an agenda, but they'll turn around and question everything else. Like, oh, if it's something to do with their group, oh man, this is not correct. But if it's anything with anybody with that particular group of men, oh, they must be telling the truth. It's sickening, man. It really is, because it's like it's a display of cowardness, and this is a display of weakness and a display of lack of intelligence. All you got to do is like do research, learn it, study the statistics, and see that it's a lot of false narratives out here. You got a lot of brothers handling their goddamn business, if I must say so myself. A lot of good brothers out here that's handling their business, but people want to just look down on black men just to have something to talk about or prop themselves up to make themselves feel better. I don't agree with Tommy Sotomayor. What Irby was saying, Tommy Sotomayor, he made fun of Sandra Bland. I don't agree with that, but in that particular case, Irby, not just with the Sandra Bland, but I can give you 10 divestment channels where they actually making fun of the deletion of some of these men
I
out
just
here.
don't see how it's relevant. It's just like saying one thing's okay because they're all doing wrong.
But people don't say that. But people don't say that. People don't say that when they
Listen, when people are talking about black men that are doing the wrong things, if you're not part of that group, then you shouldn't feel offended by it, because we all know that there are problematic characters in every group, okay? And and the ones that are selling the drugs and messing up the neighborhoods and doing all this crime are an issue, and the good black men should stand up against those men.
Most of the time, it's the good black men that's putting their lives on the line, Gigi. That's what people don't understand. And these are men that they didn't have anything to do with creating or raising or anything, but they're putting their lives on the line to protect their families within those neighborhoods, and that never gets spoken about. I can tell you
that does happen.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, you got men right now here in where I'm from walking the train stations.
I feel like I'm in the manosphere.
All right, man, whatever.
No, you're not fair, but I mean, I can definitely relate to certain things he's saying, just being from the neighborhood or being in a hood or low income or poverty environments. You do see some speckles of those men who, you know, pretty much they may call them crazy or they may call that person a good guy, whatever the case is, but he's not going to get the acknowledgement and credit, you know, that, you know, another man of a different race would get for doing the same thing. It's just not going to happen. You know, maybe the environment has a big factor. Maybe his backstory of who he was before he became that father figure is a factor. But you do see that. You know, that if you live in the hood or the neighborhood or low income areas, you do see that. And it's just not spoken about. You know.
And let me ask you something, Kishelle, because we come from the same type of environment. How many stories have you heard of men losing their lives trying to defend women within these environments?
I've definitely heard about a lot of stories, you know, especially when it comes to, you know, older brothers, older sisters, you know, dating boyfriends, you know, who beat them up or were drug dealers and they lost their life trying to protect their little sister or big cousin or aunt. Like, you hear about it, but it doesn't hit mainstream. It's not as important, I guess. It doesn't hit the mainstream like that. It's not gonna be a viral video. It's not gonna be of that importance to other people.
Right, and that's the thing that I say too. If it's certain women that know that they're not in that spectrum, they shouldn't complain when a lot of men are addressing them too. So we both wrong. Gigi, I mean, we both wrong. So Gigi is talking about that, but it seems like the women are doing a whole lot more complaining on the internet than it's the men, and I see it as a reaction from the men.
But that makes sense. In general, women do complain more than men, you know.
We got a lot to say. We talk more, we think a lot more, you know. Men don't think as much as women do. Like we think before we make decisions. You know, we don't act so radically.
But you know something.
All right.
They just think about different shit, is what they do think. They just think about different shit.
Men
Yeah.
are from Mars and women are from Venus. Like we're just built differently.
But you know, in all fairness, in general, I mean, women in general think in one way, men think in a different way, and I'm not saying it in a negative light. I'm just simply stating it that's a reality.
I feel you on that. I feel like going back to the conversation about, you know, who makes more money or who's the more superior race, you know, as far as, you know, money status, I definitely feel like, you know, it's definitely not the black woman. I feel like the black woman comes probably after the white woman, the white man, the white woman, and then maybe the black man. She may fall in that place, in that order. I mean, you guys may think differently, but again, Golden, you make a good point.
You know what?
Can I? My environment.
I'll just speak on this really quickly with what you were saying, Cashel. What you see a lot of these arguments online is people that don't really know who they are. They haven't figured out who they are. You have a lot of people online when it comes to the racial aspect that have inferiority complexes, and you have a lot of people that have superiority complexes. And it all just boils down to the one thing that people are just not honest about. A lot of these people are trying to be accepted, mostly by white folks, because it's the white people that has gotten the resources and control the media and the different systems because it was designed that way since the inception of this country. And a lot of people think that their mindset that they have is something that's new. A lot of these mindsets that people have where they thinking they're trying to aspire to be this or get closer to that, those are just that's just a recycled mentality that comes back from the early 1900s, 1920s, 1950s. Anytime that people are just not honest and just say, look, I feel that I'm better because I'm this, or I feel like that I feel inferior because I'm this and everything like that, because nobody have these people educating themselves on anything, and they don't have themselves educating themselves on who they are. And that's the funny thing about the whole, like, so a lot of these arguments are obsolete because a lot of them are empty, and a lot of people just come from a disingenuous place. And I've seen Gigi call this out before, and I've called this out before, and it's just a lot of people that just, it's certain people that come from a disingenuous place, but they think that they're smarter than everybody, so they'll try to hide their particular ulterior motive or their narrative on how they really feel, to try to, you know, use some type of excuse to justify how they really feel when they was feeling that way to begin with, if that's making any sense. But
I feel you. Do you guys on the panel think there's a place where Black, brown, and Latino men and women can be more successful, a specific state or a specific area?
I believe it's all over. As long as people are working together, and you can like, you have to be able to analyze what's going on.
Girl, I'm at 1%. My phone's gonna die.
Okay, well, thank you for coming through, Gigi.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Gigi.
Thank you for having me up. Bye, everybody. We always get on gender war topics.
Yeah.
It was a good stream, though. It was entertaining. Y'all have a good night.
I'll be
All
over
right,
here.
you
Check
take care, Chico.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
This places, we have to look at what's going on in a lot of these places. A majority of us live in the north. I know Ramon lives in the south, but you're starting to see a relocation of people from the north moving to the south because the north is becoming too expensive to live. And I think mostly people got to go to where the land is cheap, where they can build up, but they have to study the laws of that state. They have to know the loopholes on what's going on in that state. And they definitely got to know the history within that state. Most people, we just roam about our lives without really doing, without knowing nothing but what's being fed to us. And that's one of our biggest problems. And a lot of us, even if you're not paying attention, there's a lot of things that can affect your subconscious. So people need to know where they at. They got to know the environment. They got to know what's going on a political level, whether it be in a city or a state. And if you don't, or you can't, try to get somebody close to you that do. so people can know these things, because the more and more you know about certain things, then you can avoid it. But yes, I do believe you can definitely build up in certain places. It's black people that's going back down south buying land right now, trying to establish. It was a group of black people that was trying to establish a small town, but they're running through um uh so many different obstacles and everything. More than likely they trying to stop it from happening. So it's that's pretty much what it is. But I'll just say this because I don't want to get too long winded. It's important for black people to know that it's a lot of people that don't want to see us with anything. They don't want when you look at all of our history, it's all built around making sure that we don't have resources. That's why it becomes difficult for people to and people, if you don't know who you are as a person, and I'm not talking from a hotep perspective or nothing like that. I'm simply talking about your positioning in this country as you stand as a black person and understand the things that's going on around you. Then you're going to be lost, and you're going to be thinking that, oh, you're just an individual and you walk on. Yeah, we are individuals, but we're all connected to a bigger group that a lot of people don't want to see with resources. So we have to keep that in mind. But that's it.
Okay.
No problem. Anybody else have a commentary regarding what we're talking about? I'm gonna start to wrap this up.
Okay. No, I mean, I know that I didn't catch the beginning because I was uh, preoccupied with something else. But what we have talked about, I have shared what I feel. Well, not so much of what I feel, what my observation is on it, and I stand by it. And when it comes to that last thing that you said, us Hispanics and Latinos, we could be doing better, and we're gonna have to kind of like not try to celebrate so much about who we are. I'm speaking as a Puerto Rican, and there is something that I know about us, that we do like to have a good time too much, and not and maybe not work so much. I guess aspects of that will have to be different, especially when it comes to us on the island, because I mean, on the island we like to have a good time too much, and maybe we could get some discipline, and when it comes to focusing on the things that affect the island and affect the population there, we could really get some real results. But the thing is that there is an issue of discipline that we're having. So we could be doing better. We should be in a better position. But it's on us. It's on us to be doing better. The thing is that it, it's because of issues, problems with the politicians that affect the whole island, and affect all of the people. It's not a matter of race. Like, there are people that insist, that try to get in my face, insisting on that it's because of race. No, it's not because of race. It's because of us lacking the discipline to address the things that are affecting the island, and that we should be doing better. So yes, particularly us Hispanics, Latinos, especially Puerto Ricans. I do want us to do better, and we should. And the thing is that we are smart enough. We are smart enough. It's just that we like to fool around too much. So that's how I look at it.
Okay, thank you. Um, Jose, anything else you would like to add to the conversation? I'm about to wrap this up.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for allowing me on your platform. This was a very good stream, and I did share it on my platform. Um, when we discuss all these issues, particularly when it coming about doing better, we have to have the desire to do better, and then have the discipline to do what we need to do better. We can do better. The question is, do we really want to do better? Now, I do want to let people know that I'm going to be on 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Uncommon Sense. So I'm going to be talking about outrageous moments on social media. And on Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be interviewing the beautiful and the talented Christina. So hopefully, I mean, if I understand some of you may not be able to stay up that late to watch my stream later on, but definitely at 9 o'clock, try to make your presence felt. And then if you have any questions for Xtina, by all means, fire away. So this was a great stream. We had a lot of interchange and what have you. And sometimes we disagree, but we are all respectable when we disagree. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem. And thank you guys for pulling up too. Rakim, Ramon, anything else? I'm gonna wrap this up. And I really appreciate you guys. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to say anything more you may want to say.
Oh yes, I just wanted to say thanks again for Cashel for allowing me up on your platform. I really appreciate it. And it's funny because like I'm sorry I didn't mean for it to go to the racial topics or the gender topics, anything like that.
Yeah, I said I don't like those conversations, Rakim.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a little too passionate when it comes to those things. But thank you for allowing me to be up once again, Cashel. And shout out to my boy Ramon. Shout out to uh, my YouTube
Yeah.
dad and my YouTube wifey, Cashel. Man, y'all take it easy. Have a good night.
All right, all right. So who's next up on what I'm gonna call? I love Food Network. Who's next up on the chopping block?
Uh, yeah, I mean, really quick. I mean, because I didn't know you were wrapping up. But I wanted to say I appreciate you having me on your panel, even though I did tune in a little later. But yeah, this was interesting what we were talking about, and uh, definitely I look forward to the next one. And not much else I can say because I wasn't off here for that long. But I look forward to the next one, and I thank you for having me on. This is interesting. This is interesting. I love that. So I look
Nice.
forward to the next one. Yes.
You're a big critic, so I kind of be worrying about what you be saying. So when you be like, Michelle's too busy for us, she don't got no time for us, or you should do a part two. I be taking mental notes, like, all right, well, this is what Ramon says, and you're very elaborative and detailed in your thoughts and everything. So
Well,
I appreciate that.
Ramon does have a point there.
Yes.
A point about what?
That I mean, sometimes you're MIA.
I'm sorry. It just, I knew today was gonna be like 2-3 hours. I was definitely okay with that. But like I see I'm hitting 3 hours. I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to be up here till like midnight though. Because I have this thing when I do a stream, like I have to go back and watch it. I don't know if that's
Uh,
or not, but I do that.
no, because you wanna see if things went down smoothly. You're not gonna remember everything. You're not gonna remember everything, every single thing that was talked about. So it's good to go back and review and kind of like take mental notes as to how that stream did go by. How did it go, and what are the things that you think that could be done better? So it's necessary to you do a review on
I'll
what you
definitely
did.
work on being softer in the chopping block. As far as how I end the stream, I see maybe that's a little bit ratchet or rugged. So I'll work on smoothing that out so it's not so blunt and like, oh, so now out of the blue, like we're vested here, we're like in our pajamas, still talking to her. She's gonna just cut it off like that.
Ah, yes, yes. No, nothing wrong with it. I hadn't seen it before, but it's okay.
Yeah, and I was just really like wanting to be consistent after seeing the short I did this so well. I'm like, okay, let me do a few live streams, short, long, whatever I can, because I know during the work week I'm probably not gonna be posting much.
Yes, yes. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, one get caught up with work and stuff, and not do as much when it comes to content. And of course, I do have to apply that to myself. I do have an idea about a live stream, but it will be very racial.
Oh
It will
no.
be very racial, and I will need panelists. But I do need different types of panelists. I mean, it's gonna be like a start by what I said because I tried to make it a series. I already did one episode of that, but I have an idea for one. But it's gonna be very oof. It's gonna be something that I haven't heard anybody talk about before. So
Well,
that's
that
something that
sounds good.
uh-huh.
That sounds good. You know that you know.
Yeah, I could
That
certainly,
sounds good.
I could certainly use your input. So I want to be able to plan it on a time where I can get as many people as possible. Well, I can only accommodate 6 people, 5 people on a panel. But if I can get at least like 4 or 5 people on a panel, that will be helpful. But that's
Okay,
something
but
that
I try to
I
get
have in mind. Yeah, yeah.
I try
I
to get a
wanna.
little bit of alcohol in my system so I don't be too emotional or like too offended about the spikes that may come out.
Oh no! A little bit of honest spice, I welcome. I welcome that. If it's honest, if it comes from the heart, if it's something that you actually mean, then I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Next up, Mr. Negron, the Jose Negron, not the Roberto de Negron.
Roberto de Negro.
Okay, well,
That's
well,
funny.
first of all, it's 107. First of all, it's 117 days into the first day of winter, so I'm looking forward to it. Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
You need to come down here. It's only 118 degrees.
Well, I tell you, when you come up here in the wintertime in New York and I come up in Texas, it's the
Nah, nah,
summertime.
nah.
It's only there.
No. I can
But
handle the heat, but I can't handle cold. I can't do it.
but what cold? But anyway, it's been a great stream, and of course, I'm gonna push my channel like, a little bit. So if you have not done so, I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and just check out my content.
No doubt, no diggity, no doubt. No problem. I be wanting to sub my channel in your streams. I'm like, all right, I need to have a conversation. I can't just throw them in chat. Please like, subscribe to the show fit. But no problem. I respect it. Have a good night,
No,
Jose. Coming.
good night. But I do shout out to other channels as well. So, in all fairness, and you all know that. But that's it. Nothing you hear, no doubt.
Okay. Well, guys, this is it. This is the end of my live stream. This is episode 37 of Wine and FaceTime, the realest I've ever seen and learned as a YouTube creator. It's been fights, it's been, some alcohol involved, there's been some nudity involved, there's been some makeups to breakups, there's been some things, some spice, some jalapeno peppers, some red peppers, some of that, real. I need a cup of water behind this. I need to put my shades on and back up from the screen and can't believe what I'm seeing, but it's all been a part of the growth and the learning process, and it's all been cool. Shout out to all my new subscribers, everyone who keeps liking my short videos. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate that. Shout out to the day ones, shout out to everybody who just likes something I'm doing, and I don't know exactly what everyone likes, but I'm definitely paying a lot more attention to YouTube Studio nowadays to figure it out and continue to push the right thing. But happy weekend, y'all. It's Saturday. This is really like the last weekend of summer. I think we have like one more weekend and summer's over. It's gonna be Labor Day, so that means it's gonna be time to bundle up and like just forget the beach and forget the picnics and forget the chicletas and the tank tops and the maxi dresses. It's gonna be time to pack it all up and bring out the bubble jackets, the hoodies, the sweaters.
Oh, come on now. That's not go overboard. I mean,
any of that.
Yeah. The moment temperatures hit like 50 degrees. Yeah, we're gonna be needing all of that bundling up. I know I will.
No.
Black ice,
No.
slushy street, falling, busting my butt, nothing.
That's Indian summer.
No. I mean, summer is what I'm dealing with the triple digit temperatures here. Yeah,
Well,
for real. Today went all the way up to 116 degrees. It was supposed to start cooling down. It was supposed to start cooling down a little bit. If it could go down to just like 98, 90, 97, 98 degrees, I'll be fine. But
Well,
yeah, but it's a little too much for me. 118, 116 degrees. Yeah, it's a little too warm. I like it warm, but not too warm.
well, it's 72 degrees right now, and of course the air conditioning is on in where I'm at, so I'm happy.
72 degrees. I need a jacket. I'm already needing a windbreaker. Yes.
No, I think you can. In fact, spring for me is when anything between 20 to 45 degrees. That's springtime.
Oh, no, 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 no. 20, 30 degrees, it means me staying indoors.
Oh, come on, man! You're not gonna let a little spring-like weather keep you indoors.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I mean, it starts snowing and hail. That's dangerous. That causes accidents and all. So no, I don't
Well,
like it.
We ain't
I
got
mean,
time for all that, Jose. Just you.
Yes, yes.
well,
Only you have time for that. Have to deal with that mess.
well, you
Well,
know the saying. Don't think of it as cold. Think of it as the absence of warmth.
well, I know when the snow does come, I'll have my 40 belows ready to keep me warm when I'm out there having to travel through all of that snow and blizzard like weather.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
not looking forward to it, but I know it's coming. Hopefully, it's a short winter. No
No,
snowstorms,
hopefully,
no
no,
blizzards,
hopefully
no.
we'll, no, hopefully we have a nice normal winter with some temperatures near zero.
I'm anemic. My feet and my
Uh,
toes be turning colors. I don't got time for winter.
no,
I
no,
agree.
no. Well, we need tropical weather. We need tropical weather to be stable, like on the island. I mean, that will be more suitable for us. That no, we're not Mr. Freeze like you, Jose.
Oh,
Right?
come on now. Think
Jesus.
about all the fun that you can have. You can go ice skating. You can roll out in the snow. You
No,
can
no,
have
no. I'm not
snowball.
trying to. I'm not trying to roll into that snow that dogs have been pissing and shitting on. I mean,
When
I'm not
my
trying to
fingers
roll
and
on
my
there.
toes are numb, I get an attitude, and I just immediately want to go home. I don't want to be social. I really want to get home. I want to get next to some hot water or hot radiator. Like I just want to get warm. I don't want to be social. Like I become a bitc. You know what?
Ah,
When it gets nice and cold, it's like an extra pep in my step, and I'm happy. I'm in a good mood.
okay.
Everything is
Well,
going.
nah, that's you. That's you. Apparently, that's what you assimilate. I don't assimilate the cold very well because I just want to be in bed when it gets too cold. I just want to be indoors in bed chilling. Nah,
Not me. I want to
I
go
need it.
outside. I want to go outside and face that good cold air when the temperature is like low digits
No,
or
it
what
will
have
give
you.
me. It gives me bronchial. I get bronchial when.
When they get cold, my whole attitude changed. In the summertime, I walk in the streets, I see somebody, I'm like, hi, how you doing? I turn around, give them extra attention. And one time, I'm like, hi, I'll turn my neck up, nothing. I just keep walking.
Oh,
Not me. Not me. When it's wintertime, I have a big smile on my face. I'm in a happy mood. It's like
sure.
I won the lottery.
I'm
I mean,
sure
I be
you
pushing
do.
my people like, why they put no salt right here? Why they put no cardboard? Where the wet sign? Where's the manager? I be pissed.
I'll be like,
Oh, you
oh,
become a Karen? Don't tell me that,
I'm
Kichel.
like,
Don't
I'm
tell
a
me you
Karen,
become
but
a
where's
Karen.
the book? Why they put no salt right here? They see people walking out here. They got seers, people in strollers. I'm writing the with the Twitter, with the Instagram at. I'm about to write a report.
no, I'm
Uh,
no, but when it's cold, it's like it's a beautiful morning. I am so happy to be alive. It's
yeah,
a
okay. You
beautiful.
can have it. You can have it. You can have the whole winter to yourself. I don't want it. I want temperatures to be like on the island, all year
The
round.
winters, I'll stay in the spring and the summer.
Wow.
Yes.
Could you imagine if I had complete climate control of the
No,
You
world's
no, no,
weather?
buddy.
no, no,
No,
no, no, thanks. No, 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 no. No, you're evil. You're evil.
no,
You're evil with that much control. You become evil as hell. Yeah, yeah.
no. I'll be a benevolent dictator.
No such thing.
In the
No
wintertime, you
such
be getting those splits in your lip. If your lips is dry, you don't got no Vaseline, you smile, your lips are crack and bleed. No.
Oh, that hurts, man. No, I
Yeah,
don't want
that's
that.
because of the winter. No.
Not me. I mean, I have got actually one time I've been to Albany in the wintertime and my coat was up buttoned and I was just embracing that beautiful cold air.
Oh
I
shit.
gotta
Okay.
sweat
Oh,
in
wow.
my bundles of clothes in winter time. Like I'm not warm unless I'm sweating inside. I gotta have that many layers that I'm sweating. That's when I'm warm, and I don't like all those layers.
Man, you need to move down to like Florida or something. I mean, not Texas. Maybe not. It may not be for you because I mean, temperatures of over 110 degrees. That might not be for you. Apparently, I have been dealing with
I
that
may
this
become dark
whole
skinned in that kind of
summer.
weather. It may change my melon.
You'll get darker.
Okay,
Um,
dark skinned black
could
girl.
you could you imagine if I can make Texas go down to minus
No,
zero?
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
no,
We
no.
already saw a
You need
glimpse
to move
of
to
that a
Chicago.
couple
I
of
think you
years
go to
ago.
Chicago, right? Rakim is cold in Chicago, right?
Yeah, it's colder in Chicago than New York, actually.
You can move to Chicago, Jose.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it does get a little chilly in the wintertime in Chicago.
A little chill. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's been times here where the lake is frozen over. Like you'll be riding down Lakeshore Drive, looking into the lake, nothing but a lake of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, you know what? If it's thick enough, you can go ice skating.
Now
Yeah,
that's something cool. Like on front, ice skating is kind of dope, but it gets boring after a while.
yeah, they ice skate here too. Yeah, they ice skate. They got little stadiums where they allow people to come in and ice skate, different things like that.
Well,
Okay,
Yep.
guys, I'm really wrapping this up though. It's 2 hours and 56 minutes and 11 seconds.
All right.
I actually did a stream that almost lasted 5 hours.
Nah.
I had a stream that lasted 5 hours. I mean, I'm proud of that stream because we were talking about dating and relationships, and in all that time, we did not talk about race. I'm proud of that. It's possible. I presented that's proof positive that it can be done. You can have a live stream without arguing over race.
Yep.
Guys, have a good night, and hopefully I'll see you either tonight's stream that I'm doing, or definitely on Monday. So have a good night and have a good weekend. And whatever you do, guys, do not lose your cool.
All
Amen
right.
to
You
that.
too. And
Goodbye.
thanks, Kichel. Thank you for having me. All
No
right.
problem. I'll see you guys all soon. Take care. Good evening again. Episode 37 of Wine and FaceTime. The realest things I've seen and heard as a YouTube creator. Couldn't believe it. I'm over it. I'm going through it. I'm pretty sure more will come. I'll get through those obstacles and challenges as well. Look forward to next week's episode of Wine and FaceTime, episode 38. I do not know what I'm going to be talking about right now, but I'll definitely put it up on my community channel. Definitely make sure you pay attention to my community channel out here. See all my upcoming live videos, and my short videos that I'm producing here as a YouTube creator. So peace out. Have a great weekend. Summer's over. Do something great before the last 2 weeks of summer. Go to the beach. Go to the pool. Go have a picnic. Do something fun. I've gained some weight. It's all good. I'm happy. I'm not worrying about it. Living my life like it's golden, so to say. That's how my hair looks right about now. But good night, y'all. It's been really great talking with you guys, and stay forward to my community tab to see what's coming up next week for episode 38 of Wine and FaceTime. Peace out.